Oversight Committee on RCEP. Why is there an echo? Admin of the Senate, please. Can someone take care of it? Trina, okay. This is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. The hearing is called to order. Isang makabuluhang araw sa ating lahat at sana making makabuluhan ang pagpupulong na ito sa dami-dami ng taon na inaantay ang RCEP at ilang taon din na pinag-uusapan na baka makasama sa ekonomiya. And definitely I would not want this to be a hindrance towards sustainable economic development. In fact, we have to ensure that the concurrence in the ratification of RCEP is instrumental in our sustainable pandemic recovery. First, I would like to acknowledge all those present. I hope somebody gives me a quorum today. Could you could ask a senator to join us. So thank you once again to the Department of Trade and Industry as a lead convener and the agencies that participated in helping us prepare and present the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership in plenary, which led to the concurrence of the Senate to the ratification of this trade agreement. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our stakeholders, our partners representing different sectors for raising issues and concerns which helped frame our resolution. And I would like to state that the resolution did not come from the Senate alone. Much of it came from the executive, yes, the DTI-DA, but also, and more importantly, from the stakeholders. Dininig po natin sila, pinulong natin sila, at ginawa natin ang kanilang solusyon sa mga hinaing ng mga sektor ng magsasaka at mangingisda at ng maliliit na negosyo. At testigo dyan si Dr. Ernesto Ordonez. Sinabi natin, it's not a magic pill, pero importante, may roadmap tayo. At yung roadmap, madaliin. Yung mga maiingay siguro, dapat tumahimik. Konti mo sa telepono, lumabas na lang. Okay. So, with the creation of the Special Oversight Committee, we are grateful to the Senate leadership for also heeding our advice and request, because I did not wish to sponsor it in the beginning unless I can't hit and miss and go, or I have to shepherd the process to ensure that the agencies abide by what we promised. So with the creation of this oversight committee, we hope to address deficiencies and gaps in our governance, to mobilize communities through bottom-up efforts, to work to reduce scarcity towards productive efficiency, and determine effective utilization of our natural assets and our budgets. These are already mandates in public service, but what we intend to pursue by convening the Special Oversight Committee on RCEP is our delivery, ensuring the benefits of our resources and opportunities to vulnerable and marginalized sectors of society. Let us make sure that this is a rising tide to float all boats. That is only possible with integrity and single-minded determination to redirect agriculture policy. I hope that, was the DA invited?
Yes.
Where are they? They're on their way.
Virtually present.
Virtually present, okay. I hope that a DA person would be knowledgeable, and I would like to see the roadmap of agricultural policy in a people-centered, science-based, practical, and corruption-free approach. It was an arduous task, as it was necessary that our goals and principles are given weight in giving our informed commitment. It was vital to communicate and consider the differing or opposing views, and we weighed the risks of RCEP vis-a-vis the benefits that it will bring to our people. As you know, all ASEAN nations had ratified it, and we were the only country that had not. So, RCEP as in any trade agreement, is essentially a step towards ensuring that a rules-based, transparent, and conducive business environment is promoted to ensure sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Notwithstanding its promise and opportunity, we concurred in the ratification of RCEP with guidelines to secure and enhance domestic productivity, economic growth, make our producers ready and able to join the markets that this will open up. These guidelines are meant to address age-old issues besetting our agricultural sector. We are weighed by issues such as 667.5 pesos million worth of agriculture and fishery products being smuggled in the country. 667.5 million. While the Bureau of Customs seized 1.99 billion worth of agricultural products, the government's latest estimate of the number of families living in poverty as of March this year is 13.2%, up from 12.1% in 2018. As of the same period, inflation rate is 7.6%. As of February this year, we have 4.8% unemployment, translating to 2.37 million unemployed Filipinos. So these are just snapshots of various sectoral challenges that we are working with. Beyond all these, we have an opportunity to make this growth a sustainable one with the direction of making our soils regain their natural fertility, our products diverse enough to cushion any market upsets, our supply chains vibrant enough to benefit the very people that grow our food. In a changing climate and with biodiversity collapse, we cannot just do the same things better. We have to consciously bring the nation towards nature-based solutions, agriculture suited for the future we are facing. So we convene the Special Oversight Committee on RCEP with a fervent hope that with our mandates and duties to perform, we ensure to work on measures and policies to protect the interest of our country and people. So I would like to request our Committee Secretary, Attorney Dana Alberto, to acknowledge our guests who are present here. We start with them and those who are virtually present. Thank you. I recognize Senator Coco Pimentel, who's joining us online. Thank you to our Minority Leader, who knows our RCEP very well because he was the previous sponsor of RCEP. And I'm grateful that the Minority Leader had not just joined us in defending, but voted in favor. So, Sen Coco, our Minority Leader, thank you for joining me. Can you join me in every meeting so that the Senate leadership, the majority, and the minority shepherd the process so that we ensure that our vote did not go wrong, that the agencies of government, namely DTI and DA, are doing their job to protect our small farmers, fisher folks, and small business. Senator Pimentel might want to make an opening statement before Attorney Alberto recognizes our guests. Thank you.
Madam Chairwoman, just let me congratulate you for...
Audio.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Nakamute pa. Can we have the technician, please?
Okay.
Hindi naman nakamute si Sen
Yes,
Pimentel.
can you hear me? Hindi. Wala.
No, audio.
So, later na.
This is audio?
Later na.
Uh-huh.
Okay na, ma'am. Just later.
We are naka-unmute dito. Oo. Can you try it again, please?
Can you hear me now?
No.
Okay. Sige.
Huh? Is muted?
Sige lang po, later. Mamaya na lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
I
think
there's a sign that your microphone is off. Yun. On the left up. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
We see you very clearly, but we don't hear you.
Sige po.
Can you fix your mic? We get back to you. In the meantime, Attorney Alberto, could you recognize our guests? I hope to listen to Senator Pimentel, but kindly fix. Is it not our audio here in the room? No? Okay. Huh? So it's a room. So if they can hear him online, it is the committee room. Yeah. Yeah. Can we ensure, please, that the administrative aspect of these hearings are taken care of? Because this is not the first time. We've been doing this for 3 years on Zoom.
Can you hear
Oo.
me now,
Pakiayos lang,
ma'am?
please, no? Senado. So online, narinig si Sen Coco.
Sige.
Can you ask somebody competent in the Senate to come here? Yeah, else people, they don't know what they're doing. Okay.
Ma'am,
Attorney
mamaya,
Alberto, could you recognize
mamaya
people,
na lang
please?
po. Opo,
Sorry,
opo.
Senator Pimentel, they're taking care of it, but I still can't hear you. We acknowledge first those who are present here.
Good morning. The Senate Special Oversight Committee on Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, namely from DTI, we have Assistant Secretary Alan B. Hepty and Assistant Director Marie Sherilyn D. Akia. From DOLE, we have Assistant Secretary Paul Vincent W. Anover. From Alianza Agricultura, we have Dr. Ernesto Ordonez. And from United Boilers Research Association, we have Attorney Elias Jose M. Insyong. Virtually present, ma'am, are the Tariff Commission, Commissioner Marisa Maricos A. Paderon. From SEC, Attorney Anne Kathleen G. Daguro. From NEDA, we have Director Bien A. Ganapin.
Can we see their faces? Because you acknowledge them, but it's all
Yes.
blank, so that we see that they're actually virtually present.
Yeah.
Yes, could everyone open their video? Okay. Can you continue,
Yes.
please? Yeah, we see everybody. Okay. Then we do a mic test so that we see if it's our system here or if it's just, okay, we see everyone. Okay, continue, please, to acknowledge.
From Philippine Competition Commission, we have Mr. Tony Olivo.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Olivo.
Good morning po. Yes po,
Okay,
ma'am,
continue,
present.
please.
From PIDS, we have Dr. Francis Marquimba. From Department of Finance, we have Miss Yoli De Los Santos.
Hello, good morning po.
Good morning.
We would appreciate them saying at least good morning or hello so that we can see if the audio is good. Thank you. Continue, please. And just take note, please, to those online, we can see you. Yung mga gumagalaw po, no, kung nasa kotse kayo, I mean, you should have prepared for this meeting. Most are not, but there are those who are moving, nakaka-apekto ng mata, and let's have some formality in a hearing that is so important. Please, if you're not ready, maybe just close your video first and open when you're ready in your offices or workspaces. Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you, ma'am. From Intellectual Property Office, we have Director Nathaniel Arevalo.
Good morning po sa lahat.
Okay, so the audio is good. Senator Pimentel, ang wala pa. O sige, proceed.
From
Please.
GPPB, we have Attorney Patricia E. Garcia.
Hello and good morning, everyone.
From the Department of Justice, we have Senior State Counsel Mary Grace R. Quintana and Senior State Counsel Bernadette C. Ongoko.
Okay.
DOJ.
Good morning po.
Morning.
From DOST, we have Dr. Leia J. Buendia. Dr. Buendia. From
That's what I mean. We invite them and they say they're present virtually. That's why I wanted to see their faces and hear the audio and see them, because the others say they're present but they don't acknowledge. So either there's a technical glitch or they're not there. Okay, continue,
Okay.
please.
From Bureau of Customs, we have Maria Vanessa R. Hosana, BOC. Ms. Riza Jane T. Embrado, Ms. Gina C. Herman.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Okay, morning.
From Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, we have Ms. Iluminada T. Sikat,
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Ms. Rosalia C. Astorga, Attorney Erica Sheena V. Serrano,
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning,
Morning.
everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. From the DA, we have Undersecretary Mercedita Sombilla,
Good
What is,
morning.
hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yusek. What is
Yusek
Yusek? I
Mercy.
cannot see.
Yusek Mercy po.
Hi, Yusek Mercy. You were
Yes.
our regional director in Region 6.
No po. I
No?
was with NEDA
No?
before. I was with
NEDA.
NEDA before po.
NEDA. Okay. You're
No,
not the RD6.
I'm now with DA. I used to be with NEDA.
NEDA.
I'm not with RD6.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. But we worked with her.
we also have Ms. Catherine A. Mares,
Good morning, everyone.
okay, and Ms.
Morning.
Imelda A. Arida.
The DA, it's Yusek Sombilio, no?
From DENR, we have Attorney Lester Joseph Kaliwara,
Morning po.
Morning.
Department of Foreign Affairs, we have Director Anthony Aguirre,
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
okay,
Morning.
Director Arlene Gonzalez Macaisa.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Good morning.
From DICT, we have Undersecretary Josel Batapa Sige.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Okay.
From DILG, we have Ms. Belinda Castro,
Blessed morning, everyone.
Morning.
Mr. Arce Fajardo, okay. From DBM, we have Mr. James Evangelista.
Morning, Madam Chairperson.
Morning.
Okay. From Department of Energy, we have Mr. Christopher Edmundo V. Manalo.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
From Trade Justice Pilipinas, we have Mr. Joseph Puruganan.
Magandang umaga
Mr.
po, Madam Chair. Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Good morning.
From Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura, we have Mr. Jason Kainglet. Mr. Kainglet.
Good.
From Integrated Rural Foundation of the Philippines, we have Mr. Arze G. Glipo. Mr. Glipo? Miss Arze G. Glipo. From Federation of Free Farmers, we have Mr. Leonardo Montemayor.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Morning.
From Foundation for Economic Freedom, we have Ms. Maria Cristina A. Madlang Bayan.
Good morning.
That would be all, ma'am.
Thank you, Attorney.
Madam Chair, point of order. Though I'm listed as Alianza Agricultura, today I represent the Agri-Fishers Alliance, which is composed of Alianza Agricultura, farmers and fisherfolk, but two other groups, namely the Chamber of Philippine Agriculture, and that has 42 subsectors, all business. And the third one is called Science Academy. It's called Coalition for agricultural modernization in the Philippines, composed of universities and SUCs around the country, headed by Emil Javier. So I present the alliance, not just Alianza. Thank you.
The state universities and colleges, and Dr. Javier is part of your group. Yeah, he can help us much in crafting this strategic plan for the implementation of RCEP. So we welcome those who are virtually with us and those who are present here. Can we have Senator Pimentel already online?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
others have audio. Ay, very good. Sen Coco. Okay.
So thank you, and congratulations, Madam Chairperson, for conducting the first ever hearing of the Oversight Committee on RCEP. We made some prescriptions around 8 pages long, and we said that this is for the effective implementation of RCEP. So I think that this Oversight Committee will really be very busy, Madam Chairperson, so because we all desire for the effective implementation of RCEP, which should be fair for everyone, which will not leave any sector behind, Madam Chairperson. So thank you for calling for this hearing, ma'am, and good morning to everyone.
Senator Pimentel, you are correct. The first ever oversight meeting, organizational meeting, but it will be substantive, and we would need your wisdom and your advice, as well as those resource persons present here, especially the DTI and the DA, and those, I would love to have those who have opposed RCEP from day one. Your inputs are so important to me because kayo po ang nakakaalam kung bakit ito supposedly masama sa ekonomiya para mabigyan ng gamot. Because if we are forever not acknowledging that it could have adverse effects to the sectors previously mentioned, then we will not know the cure. So I'm glad that Mr. Montemayor is here, that Dr. Ordonez is here, and Attorney Insyong at lahat po. Hindi po ako magagalit kung marami kayong tanong or mungkahi or angal tungkol sa RCEP. We welcome that, sir, so that DTI and DA, NEDA, BOC, etc., all government agencies, hindi po makakapagsalita lahat ng nandito virtually or present. Kasi kung bibigyan ko kayo ng 1 minutong opening statement, aabot na yan ng 30 minutos. Kaya ang gusto ko, diretso na sa katanungan ko, and you just have to raise your virtual hand or those who are present here today. So, I don't see the virtual hand, so I would appreciate just receiving from the COMSEC whose hands are raised. But pwede ba ho natin unahin si Mr. Montemayor? I see him now. So, after that, I will listen to Dr. Ordonez. Let's make the interventions brief, and I would be happy to have the DTI and the DA and other agencies answer them. Okay, Mr. Montemayor first. Because let me go to my, before I hear you, ano ba ang pinupunto ko? DFA and DTI and DA, be ready to answer this question. It's very simple. Do we have an update regarding the domestic preparedness undertaken by the Philippines since the Senate's concurrence in the ratification of the RCEP agreement last February 2023. So that's 2 months almost, right? So let's be honest, kung wala pa tayong ginagawa, kasi paperwork, administrative, diplomatic, it's depositing the instrument of ratification. We want to know and be educated in the process. Yan. Paghandaan nyo yung sagot. Pangalawa, other than drafting a strategic plan for the effective implementation of RCEP, which I expect each agency, especially the DTI and DA and NEDA, to do, how are we preparing for the effective implementation of the programs and the projects for the enhanced productivity of the sectors, especially agriculture and MSMEs? So that's a second. These are very basic questions that agencies should already be doing. And why? Because you asked us in the legislature to ratify it. That means you are ready in your roadmap. Hindi yung, gagawin na po. Dapat ginawa na nyo. Kasi yun ang kinonbinsin nyo kami na iratifika kasi handa kayo. Okay, so I will allow DTI and DA to answer that and the other agencies. If I'm missing any, you can just raise your hand. In the meantime, I hear Mr. Montemayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is just a short manifestation. I would like to inform the Chair, ma'am, that the groups that were in opposition to RCEP will be launching a campaign called Bantay RCEP by Pilipino. So it will have two components. It will be a watchdog role. In other words, to help the Senate, in particular, to monitor the implementation of the RCEP commitments. And number two, on a more positive note, or equally positive note, to launch a strong campaign to patronize Philippine-made products, including, of course, agricultural products. And we would hope, Madam Chair, to engage with the committee in its work and also to invite you in our launching program, tentatively set for May 8. Kayo po ang aming launching person in this launching. Thank you po.
Maganda po yung inyong ginagawa. Kasi po, para ako may kapartner sa Bantay RCEP, ito pong ating Oversight Committee ay magbabantay talaga sa RCEP, sa implementasyon ng Executive Department. So inyong paglunsad ng inyong pagbabantay at inyong pag-advokasya ng pagbibili ng gawang Pilipino ay para pong talagang yun na ang buhay ko po yun eh. Hanggang sa kinakain at tinatanim eh. Ayan, papakita ko lang gulay na kinakain ko eh. Tayo po ay smallholder farm, weekend farmer. Hanggang sa mga suot po eh, na mga katutubo. Ayan, yan po. Oo, hindi po tayo hanggang sa rubber shoes ko po. Ayan, ay gawa sa abaka. Hanggang ang aking bag po. Wala po kayo makikitang imported sa akin. Yan, proud na proud po ako. Hanggang ito po ay mga embroidery ng ating mga katutubo. Yan. Pero siguro may makikitang imported. Pero hindi, hanggang yung aking bayong ay gawa sa pandan, ito ay sa bamboo. Yun. Hanggang yung tray ko po ay gawa din sa ratan. So maganda po yung inyong advokasya na by Philippines. Alam naman po nyo bilang author po ng MSME Law noong 2007 at recently napasa na po yung OTOP na principally sponsored by Senator Mark Villar na ako po ang principal author nun. Siguro 20 years ko na po na-file yung One Town, One Product. Kasama po yan, makakatulong sa RCEP. Imagine, ang gagawin ko pa nga hindi lang OTOP, OBOP, one barangay, one product. Imagine, 45,000 barangays. Kung ang bawat barangay, kung coastal ka, o mangingisda, anong kailangan mo? Kung ikaw yung nasa bundok, biodiversity, paano mapapaunlad ang mga puno doon or kung ano mang produkto doon. So from towns we go to barangays so that the help is given at the grassroots level. So salamat po. To-check ko po yung May 8 sa inyong paglunsad ng Bantay RCEP. Kasama po nyo ako. Lahat po ng output ninyo sa pagbabantay at siguro po ay maari tayo din mag-ikot ng Pilipinos to have regional oversight committee hearings para po although they can join us virtually naman, para maghanda ang committee ng regional consultations, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Salamat po.
Thank you.
So, Ernie, you have something to say or can they already answer the question? Is DFA here? DFA, para po maintindihan namin, pagka-ratifika noong February 21, ano ang nagawa na? So what needs to be done yet? Do we have the DFA? Sino sa DFA yung sasagot?
Ma'am, Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning.
Um,
Please state your name and your position. Yes, we have a
Yes,
letter
ma'am.
here. Let me just see. The letter from Assistant Secretary Candolada. Yes. Okay, just tell us where are we at, so that this is made effective.
Yes, ma'am. The instrument of ratification was deposited with the ASEAN Secretary General on the 3rd of April of this year. So based on RCEP, the agreement will be effective for the Philippines 60 days after the deposit of the instrument of ratification. So that would be June 3. The effectivity of RCEP for the Philippines will be on June 3 of this year.
Mr. Aguirre, you're from DFA. What does
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
What does OMAYER stand for, and what is your position, sir?
Ma'am, OMAYER is the Office of the Undersecretary for Multilateral Affairs and International Economic Relations, and I am the Director for the International Economic Policy and Negotiations and WTO unit, which is under the Undersecretary for Multilateral Affairs and International Economic Relations.
Who is the Undersecretary now?
Our Undersecretary is Ambassador Carlos D. Soreta.
Okay. So you're in charge of
The free trade
RCEP.
agreement. Yes, ma'am. The free
trade
trade
agreements.
agreements and WTO.
Were you involved in the negotiations?
Yes, ma'am. I was present in the negotiations since 2017. And,
So you were
yes,
with ASEC Jepti? Kasama
yes,
niyo.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So April 3, the instrument of ratification was deposited in Jakarta, in the ASEAN office, right? That's
Yes,
what you're
ma'am.
saying.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the effectivity of RCEP within 60 days, so June 3.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I think it's June 2. I made a mistake in counting the 60 days. I think it's June 2, ma'am.
June 2. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, RCEP day. So thank you for that. So that's the update insofar as the effectivity taken. But DTI and DA, ano po ang mga paghahanda na ginawa nyo? Huwag tayo mag-aantay ng June 2 bago umakto. At ano ba, what are we expecting on June 2? Kasi mga tao, 60 days. Bubukas na tayo sa mundo. Pero actually, matagal tayong bukas dahil sa WTO. So, one of the chief negotiators, ASEC Jepti, what are we expecting on June 2? Anong benepisyo sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, sa anong sektor, at anong paghahanda ang ginawa natin sa mga nakaraang taon at ngayon sa araw na to hanggang June 2? Maghanda ang DA pagkatapos nito. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair, and good morning, everyone. Just to answer po the question, particularly the 2 points raised earlier on the steps so far taken by the Executive Department in general. So as mentioned, the instrument of ratification was deposited last April 3, 2023. The same will take effect 60 days from deposit, so that will be on June 2. Now, in parallel po, we need to issue the necessary legal issuances, basically the executive order implementing the RCEP agreement, and with respect to the schedule of tariff commitments of the Philippines, the Bureau of Customs will have to issue also the Customs Memorandum Order. We have already conducted
The executive order will be from which department?
from the President. Yes,
Office of the President.
Yes po.
Yes.
So,
and we are aware, of course.
Yes po. We have already finalized the draft executive order, and the attachment, which is the schedule of tariff commitments, has been transposed already to the current tariff lines, particularly the HS number. And per advice of the NEDA board, it will be tabled for consideration and approval of the NEDA board on April 20, 2023, of course. And then for purposes of synchronizing all these issuances, the executive order that eventually will be issued by the President, including the Customs Memorandum Order, will have to take effect also on the same day, June 2. 2023. So from June 2, of course, we're now party to the RCEP agreement. So our stakeholders will basically enjoy already the advantages of the said agreement. Of course, number one benefit there is automatically those commitments of RCEP parties that will be reduced substantially, and those that will be zero as far as tariff rates will have to take effect. And then, of course, the wider cumulation that we have discussed before will have to take effect. Now, on the second question earlier, Madam Chair, as to the strategic plan and to the other steps being undertaken by the department in coordination with other agencies, if you will allow me, Madam Chair, I will proceed on giving updates. Basically, there are 3 programs right now that we are considering for purposes of implementation to ensure the effective implementation of the RCEP agreement. Number one is that this is tentative, but we're eyeing June 9 wherein we will have to conduct an international trade forum. And of course, Madam Chair will be invited and other key officials on that. The theme of that International Trade Forum basically is to convey the message that we want to empower Philippine industries, not just through RCEP, Madam Chair, but the other preferential trade arrangement. Because while we note that the Oversight Committee is focused on RCEP, we deem it proper to include also the other free trade agreements that we have entered into and other preferential trade arrangement. When I say preferential trade arrangement, that would include GSP plus preferences that we are enjoying, particularly with the EU. So basically, that's the highlight of the event will be also the launching of our Philippine Export Development Plan. So the Philippine Export Development Plan will also serve as the roadmap for our export industries for them to be competitive in availing not just RCEP but other free trade agreements. So that will be the start. And then the second program, Madam Chair, that we're working at is the conduct of trade education and advocacy campaign. So basically, this is an information and education campaign. But more than the campaign will be designed to be more strategic and precise depending on the competencies of our regions and provinces. In the process, of course, among the elements, we'll have to come up with some FTA guidebooks, info materials. And when it comes to info materials, Madam Chair, just to give you an idea, what we are targeting basically is really more catered to the needs of the stakeholders. So for example, if we're talking of, let's say, product like cacao, for example, or pineapple or durian, we just have to give them all the necessary information how to export these products to foreign markets. And then, of course, business matching, value chain network will also part of this program. Value chain network is important because for those micro, small, and medium enterprises that has no capacity or have no capacity to export, at least they be given an opportunity to tie up with companies who are linked to the global value chain. And this will be a continuing program, and we will work closely with the regional offices of DTI and other departments. And one important element in our in our discussion right now, Madam Chair, is that we have to work closely with the local government units in this campaign. The third program is, of course, the establishment of
Trade education.
Yes, yes.
How do you operationalize the trade education? So small businesses, the local chambers of commerce, even those who may not be members of the
Yes, yes.
the local chamber of commerce,
Yeah.
hindi kaya ng mga
Yes.
micro enterprises pa.
Yes.
Dapat maging very inclusive kayo.
Yeah, inclusive, yes, Your Honor. And even for those big companies who are already exporting, we still have to supplement their knowledge and information about recent developments in different free trade areas. For example, Madam Chair, if I can share with you, last month I was in Jensan speaking with the tuna industry. Our tuna products, basically, their main export destination is the European Union and the EFTA countries and Japan. I was informed that in the EU, when it comes to imported tuna products there, our market share is around 53%. Now, under for tuna,
For tuna,
For
sa
tuna.
EU,
In the EU.
53%
Is na our
sinusource nila sa Pilipinas?
Yes. As
Really?
far, yes.
Kalahati ng EU tuna galing Pilipinas?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
Liza.
So we have a big market share on that. And under the EU GSP Plus, the rules of origin required is fully obtained. So that means that the tuna must be, of course, caught here in the Philippines. They export also in EFTA. If you, of course, you're very familiar with the EFTA. In EFTA, we were able to secure there a preferential rules of origin, wherein global sourcing is allowed. So in other words, their cuts outside the Philippine jurisdiction can be exported to EFTA countries at a preferential arrangement. But apparently, they were not aware of that. They have been exporting their tuna, which are fully obtained from the Philippines to EFTA countries. That's why they told me that had we known that, we could.
Jensen has been exporting tuna from the Philippines to EFTA.
Yes po.
With the EFTA agreement in 2018, what did it gain?
Ang thinking nila po, Madam Chair, nung nag-e-export sila, akala nila ang rules of origin sa EFTA, fully obtained pa rin. Hindi nila alam na sa free trade agreement natin, meron tayong global sourcing na na-secure.
This is under EFTA?
Under EFTA po.
Under WTO, under EFTA, or under RCEP?
EFTA po, EFTA.
EFTA.
Oo.
EFTA muna, hindi
Yes.
sa RCEP na
Hindi
yun.
po sa RCEP.
So 5 taon na, 2018.
Yes po.
Ang rules of origin sa EFTA, which we defended here,
Yes.
is?
Global
Okay,
sourcing.
anong ibig sabihin ng rules of origin na global sourcing?
So ibig sabihin, yung huli nila outside Philippine jurisdiction po, pwede nilang ma-export sa EFTA at a preferential arrangement. All the while, akala nila ang pwede nilang ma-export with preferential arrangement sa EFTA, huli obtain lang.
Saan ba ang mga fishers pa na hindi galing sa Pilipinas? They would import tuna?
Yung iba pong mga ano ho natin, nanggagaling sa PNG, sa mga iba, sa high seas, of course. So marami pong mga ganun. Yes po.
In PNG, for example, and that would be considered a Philippine product even if it's
Pag tayo
not.
po nakahuli po.
Pag tayo nakahuli.
po.
This is for the big ones.
Yes po.
For big
Yes
companies
po. But-
that have, yeah.
Yeah. But the point po is that kung alam daw nila, sana lahat ng huli obtain nila, talagang tinodo na lang nila sa EU market. And then yung mga globally sourced nila, dinala sa EFTA. So this is just one classic example po na we really have to conduct a more intensified education campaign so that they can take full advantage of the benefits FTA is being offered to them. So sample lang po yan. So also, ang daming mga agri-products din that we really have to inform. So more strategic po yung magiging approach po ngayon. And we really have to work.
Mula sa mga recent free trade agreements na ating naratipika gaya ng EFTA ng 2018 ay hindi pa sapat ang kaalaman ng mga nakikinabang sana sa pagbagsak ng taripa sa pagpasok sa mga bansang EFTA. Tama?
Marami pa rin po, yes.
At kung ganun ang hamon ng 2018, lalo na ngayon sa RCEP, tama?
Yes
So,
po.
importanteng malaman. So, information is key, really. Knowledge is power, as they say. So, this trade education will do that.
Yes po.
Very good.
So, yun talaga po kailangan para ma-increase din yung utilization. And in the third program, which will complement this, is of course, we intend to establish yung tawag naming FTA clinics or International Trade Assistance Centers. So, mag-organize po kami sa mga provinces, regions, para at least meron ho silang access. And then basically po,
Itong trade education nyo, gamitin nyo ang social media. Diba?
yes po, yes po.
Dapat pinopost na nyo permanente para kung di man, like ako, marami akong tanong, nandun lahat ng impormasyon.
Yes po.
So all of this, the
Yes.
world is your oyster. Just
Yes.
really put everything on social media.
Yes po.
Not in very, maybe technical, and then ito, ang provision. Kasi kailangan yung basis technical dahil yun ang source document, and then ang ibig sabihin ito. Sinong target itong mga sektor? Ganyan. So, trade education and international trade relations through the regional DTIs.
Regional, provincial. Yes po.
City.
Yes po.
Yes. Very good. Give us always the schedules and the programs. And let's say I want to attend one, watching you from outside and see how it's conducted. Because we want to learn. And we want to help you inform all LGUs. Uy, sama kayo dito. LGU, local Chamber of Commerce, MSMED, ano yung sa batas ko? MSMED ba yung tinatag ko? Ano yung under my MSME law of 207? Nagtatag tayo ng MSMED councils? Right? Meron ba tayong MSMED councils? Yun. Lahat yun. At yung hindi pa membro ng anumang council o kooperatiba, kung ako'y single proprietorship ng isang maliit na negosyo, mag-aambisyon pa ba akong mag-export? Hindi siguro. Pero, i-lead natin sa mga exporters na nangangalap ng mga maliliit na negosyo. Hindi ba ganun? No? Okay. So trade education and international trade relations
Assistance Center po.
assistance center,
Or FTA clinics
which
po.
will be, which will be based in,
Mga strategic regions and provinces
yes,
po.
oo.
So we'll just have to align that with the roadmaps also that the department has prepared, taking into account the competencies po of the several provinces and regions in the country. Kasi po kanya-kanya
You're
po sila.
speaking about will not just be for MSMEs, but also for the agri-sector, fisheries and agriculture.
Kasi po may mga products din
Yes.
po na agri na nasa support system ng DTI, like mga cacao, even mga bamboo products nga rin po. Yeah. And then if I may continue, Your Honor, of course, for information po the body also, hindi pa ho naman ito ilo-launch. But expect po that in May, we intend to launch what we call the import monitoring system. So the import monitoring system basically is a system that would detect surge in importation of imported products. So plano po ng DTI i-launch ito malamang 4th week po of May, but definitely before June. So ang rationale niya lang po is that, let's say if you have a product na gusto mong ipamonitor sa amin, then you can enroll that product, we'll monitor, and then kung may surge, then we'll inform you accordingly para you can take the necessary step like trade remedies, for example. So it's a system po. They are using what they call the Oracle Business Intelligence. I've seen already the demonstration po, and I'm also excited to see the launching and of course the implementation this May po. So this will complement po yung mga efforts natin in monitoring the surge of importation. And then of course, yung export development plan, almost done na rin po ito. Ito yung from 2023 to 2028. So, isasabay po namin yung launching nito sa hopefully this June yung sa International Trade Forum po. And kung pwede po, of course, we will also invite the President, of course kayo po, the Senate and other key officials po. And then at present po, we're still working on the comprehensive strategy plan for the implementation of the RCEP agreement. But as I mentioned earlier, this will not just cover RCEP agreement po, sasama na rin po namin yung other FTAs and other preferential arrangement. So far, in the discussion po, we'll zero in on the capabilities of the Philippines. So we'll focus kung saan talaga may comparative advantage. Investment is also critical, Madam Chair, kasi we really need more investments. That's why if you will note po ngayon, very aggressive din po ang government, the executive branch, the DTI, the Board of Investment in promoting investment. And notably, medyo may results na rin po na positive, increase in investment. And then of course, yung export development plan, which I mentioned, and competitiveness agenda, because it's specific in the Senate resolution that we have to work with the Philippine Innovation Council also. And of course, lastly, yung sustainability agenda po, which is very important po. So part po ito ng comprehensive strategy plan na being discussed right now po. And then pag meron na pong draft ito, we'll also submit this to stakeholders for validation. So that's all from our end, Madam Chair.
First, trade education. You already have plan for trade education where you will physically go, or will it be Manila-centric, but it's all virtual? How will it be?
Ano po siya, combination. So there are times that physically will have to be in the provinces and regions. But ang pinaka-importante po rito is that we have to train also our people in the provinces and regions. Yes po.
Who will you train? Who
Ah.
who are the people in LGUs? Who are the
Sa mga
NGOs, CSOs, POs?
Yung mga,
Oo.
well, at least po, from DTI, at least yung mga staff po namin, the regional offices, the provincial offices, will have to train people there. In fact ho ngayon,
Dapat pati mga fisher folks and farmers groups
yes po,
kasama. Oo. Kasi kung puro tayo-tayo lang sa gobyerno.
meron tayong the trainers program. So yung mga trainers po, meron tayong pool of trainers. In fact, ngayon nag-start na rin kami mag-build up ng mga experts namin and trainers, both from the private and of course the government sector. Kasi po sa ibang mga FTA partners natin, we receive din mga technical assistance. So yun po,
Is trade
i-maintain namin.
education will be training the trainers and also giving educational materials
Yes,
or leading the MSMEs and farmers and fisher folks group into better trade access, right, for export. Do you already have a website or an online platform where all this information can be lodged in trade education? Meron pa tayong RCEP website?
May RCEP website po, pero ito po yung RCEP na in general. But if we're talking po of various regulations in how to, let's say, comply with
Tapos
certain
may,
requirements of other countries.
it's question and answer, frequently asked questions, ganun. Oo.
Meron naman-
Sana interactive,
Yes po.
para may magtatanong, may sasagot, ganun.
Yun po yung, may mga
That should be
ongoing...
part of your trade education.
Yes po, yes po. Oh. At ngayon po, may mga websites naman that they can access the information. But katulad nga po ng sabi namin kanina, talagang kailangan mo talagang
I'm not sure.
shepherd yung yung
Yes.
mga stakeholders.
So, a physical trade education is important. Iba pa rin ang person to person. Pero, importante may mapupuntahan na, I'm not sure if it's a website that's best, a Facebook page that's accessible with chewable information, yung maintindihan, at pag may magtatanong, may sasagot. Importante yan Information, again, knowledge. So that's part of what DTI should be doing. Yes. Have you already identified the areas where you will have your trade education and your international trade assistance centers?
Wala pa
Wala
po
pa.
yung mga
Okay.
centers, but of course, we're looking at also of basically reinforcing yung mga existing centers. Kasi po, may mga negosyo centers na rin po tayo.
Yes.
So, we'll just have to complement po yung
Okay.
manpower and resources.
Perhaps after this hearing, you can already give us definite places that you intend to visit and, trade education, the program, more or less, so we have an idea, and the international trade relations clinics that you will be conducting, more or less in what areas of the country, and a target date. Yes. Okay, thank you. That's it. That's good. You mentioned about anticipating the lowering of tariffs, okay? Bureau of Customs, how are they preparing for border controls to complement the import monitoring system and the export development plan of the DTI? Is the BOC part of this roadmap? Are they prepared for June 2? Bureau of Customs, are you present online? May we know, please?
Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Senator. I'm Assistant Commissioner Maronilla from the Bureau of Customs. Yes,
You can
Bureau of
open your photo, your Zoom.
Yes, yes, Madam Chairman. I'm already online and my camera is on. Can you hear me? There.
Please proceed. Handa na ba ang customs for this?
Yes, Madam Chair, Madam Senator. In fact, it's the Bureau of Customs who chaired and spearheaded the CPTF chapter the Customs Procedures and Trade Facilitation chapter of the RCEP.
Proceed. Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, are you online? Wala. Okay, we'll get back to Assistant Commissioner. I just wanted to know how is the BOC preparing for the lowering of tariffs? Alam na ba nila ano ang pag-monitor nitong lahat? Okay, so they should be a partner of the DTI on this. We go back to Assistant Commissioner Marunilla. If he does not return online, can we please, COMSEC, ask the BOC to submit to us? Very simple, how are they preparing as well? May we hear from the Department of Agriculture, please? USEC, Mercy, previously from NEDA.
Yes. Good morning again, Madam Chair and participants of this video. We actually submitted our strategic implementation plan to the Department of Trade and Industry because they were actually tasked to put together this comprehensive strategic plan. But may I have the permission to present to you what we have submitted to them? So as early as March 2nd, Madam Chair, we have already issued our senior undersecretary, Panganiban, issued already a guidelines on March 2nd, 2023 to all our operating units to ensure that their project, programs, activities, and projects will support the provisions under the Senate Resolution 42 and which include the DA fiscal year 2024 plan and budget proposal. So inalign na po namin, we instructed all our OUs na yung kanilang budget would already provide budget for the production improvement of all the 33 agri-fishery lines. So they have already identified specific PAPs and corresponding budget allocation based not only on our 2023 GAA, but also, to align, to identify also in the GAA, proposed GAA 2024 budget support for the
USEC? Nawawala pag nagsasalita eh.
Kasi minsan po yung iba.
So next time, please, COMSEC, when we have hearings, you tell the agencies to be prepared, not just in terms of the substance, but technically as well,
the
please.
process of putting up our
Okay, USEC, you were offline for a few minutes. You were offline,
okay.
no audio and picture and video.
Do you want-
Yes. Anyway,
Okay, do
proceed.
you want me
Proceed po.
to-
Proceed.
So the
Sige
first
po.
one, the first one, Madam Chair, is for the all our operating units, including our banner programs, our bureaus, our attached agencies, to already provide budget to all programs, projects and activities that would really improve the productivity, the production and productivity of all the covered 33 agri-fishery lines. So that's one. And the instruction came out from our senior USEC, Ding Panganiban, in March 2023, March 2nd, 2023. The other one, the second one, Madam Chair, is
Just a minute po, just a question, clarification. The 33 agri-fishery lines which will be affected by RCEP, right? That's what you're referring to?
Yes, Madam
oo.
Chair.
I didn't catch what you said. What is the preparation for the 33 agri-fishery lines?
Yeah. we have already nag-identify na po kami ng programs, activities, and projects that are within our budget for 2023, and that's going to be also in the proposed budget of 2024 para mabudgetan po lahat ng mga activities and projects that would ensure improvement of production and productivity.
Okay, just to
of all
clarify,
these
no?
33
Just to clarify, just hold on there. ASEC Ctte, the 33 agri-fishery lines sa RCEP, are we talking about binababa natin to zero ang taripa nito or yung ating pagpunta sa mga RCEP countries?
Ito po yung 33, ito lang po yung basically nagalaw.
Ito lang ang nagalaw.
Na
So ito yung
tariff
pinag-uusapan natin
pag,
nagalaw.
yes, pag kinumpare mo sa existing FTAs
Okay.
natin.
So,
So yung
okay.
iba po ay nag-zero, yung iba po ay gradual na.
Okay, so ito lang. Ito lang yung buod ng ating pinag-uusapan para lang maliwanag. Gaya ng olives. Ang alala ko yung olives, yun, yung olives. So, the 33, ito yun, tariff lines with lower RCEP tariff commitments. Right? So, it, of course, does not include previous FTAs, right? Ito lang yung RCEP tariff lines. At lahat ba ito ay agri-fishery or meron MSME groups? Puro agri-fishery.
Itong 33 po, ito po yung agricultural products na affected po.
Agri-fisheries. Okay, yun na nga. So, fish fillet, ito yun. Olives, olive oil, live chicken. Ito yung ating pinagdebatehan ng ilang linggo. Sige. So, pag sinabi po ni Yusek Sombilyo, kayo na po, balik na po ako sa inyo, projects, programs, sana po, gusto ko po maintindihan. Ang project, malawak yun eh. Programs, malawak. Kaya nang sinabi ng DTI, trade education, international trade relations clinics. Gusto ko malaman sa DA, ano po ang ginagawang paghahanda ng Department of Agriculture para sa tariff commitments na makakaapekto sa 33 agri-fishery tariff lines. Programs, projects, ano po yun? Gusto ko pong maintindihan para paghandaan natin.
Yeah. Madam Chair, we'll probably send you a copy of the lists of projects and activities that are being done to improve and develop further this agricultural and fishery products so that we can strengthen them, make them more competitive. Yun po yung
Example.
linya. Marami
Yes,
marami po, opo. Hindi ko lang po, wala po sa akin yung listahan kasi nandun po sa individual programs and activities ng lahat ng mga banner programs at saka mga bureaus and attached agencies. But we will try to get those and send it to you,
within
Madam
the
Chair,
day,
to the committee.
because you should have been ready for that, no, Yusek, pero I will allow you na ikalap po ninyo. For example, ang hinihingi po namin, let's say cornstarch, number of tariff lines, 1. Current tariff, 16%. Then RCEP tariff commitments on year 20 pa, 15%, right? ASEC, Ctte? Okay. So, ano ang gagawin natin? Hindi lang ngayon, sa roadmap, papunta sa year 20. Let's say live chicken, 6 na tariff lines. Ayan, marami. So, ang gagawin nyo, importante ang DA eh.
Yes.
Anong bureau? Which program, which project, show me the GAA 2023 line item provision. If you anticipated this, because you should have, because you lobbied for me to sponsor this, na talagang pinaghandaan nyo. So, this is just, it's just a one-pager actually. So, meron akong one-pager ng 33 tariff lines sa 15 products. Kasi ibang produkto ay iba-ibang tariff line. So, simple lang po, 15 na produkto. Okay? Alam na po natin yung taripa, alam natin yung current, alam natin yung kailan magiging zero o bababa, alam natin ilang taon. Ayan. Ano ang ginagawa ng DA? Program, Sinong ahensya? Which bureau?
Yes.
Which director? Sino siya? Ano ang gagawin programa? Just a one-liner and the GAA provisions of funding support. Yan. Para din pagharapin ako ng Bantay RCEP, paano na yung si Chicken? Itong ginagawa po ni DA. Alam din natin kung anong babantayan natin. At saka tulong din po sa inyo yan dahil kayo mismo sa taas, sa ahensya ng gobyerno, ang magbabantay sa inyong mga implementors ng Bantay RCEP. Tama ba ho, Yusek? Do you hear me, sir? Ma'am?
Yes, yes, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I'm just checking if did you give a meron ba tayong attachment doon sa ating submission sa
Sige. If you don't have it,
Yes.
that's okay. I just
I will
need,
send-
ayokong mahabang, wag makapal na term paper.
Yeah.
Gusto ko lang po malaman, ano po yung inyong paghahanda,
Yes.
pangalan ng programa, ano yung GAA linya, magkanong pondo, baka naghanda pala tayo, wala palang funding, di ba? Pero kaya yan, meron palagi nakalodge na funds sa Office of the Secretary. Yes. So that it's clear. So that every sector, kung harapin natin, what is this? Kung harapin natin ang sektor ng black pepper, alam natin isasagot sa kanila. Tama ba ho?
Yes po. I think we will be able to do that. It's just probably the hindi po na. But I'm pretty sure that we can get all those items and list of projects, with their budget and who is going to be implementing them.
Yes.
Madam Senator.
Okay, ma'am.
We'll
Kilala
that
naman
to
niyo
you
ako
by-
magtrabaho,
by-
ma'am, ha? Yusek Sumbilya, next time po. Dahil kayo po, DA, ang mahalaga dito, kasama ng DTI, I would expect perhaps more comprehensive preparation, ma'am, for this. We're in this together. Okay?
Opo.
Please lang po.
Opo, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Teka, hindi pa kayo tapos. You finished. But,
Hindi pa po.
yun na po.
Hindi pa po. Meron pa.
Yes, continue po.
Okay.
And then Mr. Raul Montemayor has his hand raised. Sir, we wait for Yusek Sumbilya to finish her presentation. Thank you.
The second item that we are already doing, Madam Chair, is the long sought information system. Na ito ay provided pa ng AFMA, but the DA is now just putting up this, what we call the agriculture-based central data system. So this is now being developed with funding from Korea, and it aims to enhance existing DA information system and their implementation using Agriculture Integrated Information Excellence System, or AGRIX, and Agricultural Business Entry Registration System framework of Korea. So we are now putting this up. This will be a more comprehensive data system that will provide us with real-time information and yung production, yung prices, yung importation, and all these things related to agriculture system. So just like your importation, I think with the information coming from USEC JEPT on yung monitoring system, I think we will try to to harmonize these two para magkadugtong na po yung data system. So we will try to discuss with them on both these initiatives to strengthen the data information system and monitoring of the Department of Agriculture po, Madam Chair. And then, of course, together, ang complementary activity of the information system would be the Price and Volume Watch Steering Committee. So we are now creating that. Actually, there are already existing price and volume watch groups that have been monitoring primarily the livestock system, but the livestock sector, but we are expanding this to include all commodities. So the Price and Volume Watch Steering Committee will provide real-time update of the supply and demand situation, prices of agriculture, that will get into this database system that we are now
Price and Volume
developing.
Watch. Sige po, ng DA. Sabi nyo real-time. Saan po namin makikita yung real-time price and volume watch of every agriculture and fisheries commodity? Like I want to monitor it now. Is it an app?
Madam Chair,
Is it an app?
wala pa po. No. Ma'am, wala pa po.
On what
We
platform?
have four. Sir, ma'am, wala pa po. That is, meron po kami sa livestock pa lang. That is,
Livestock, isang sample lang po. Ipat, can you go on that? Anong platform po? Where can we see the information on livestock? You said real time. We have a price watch and commodity volume watch. Good, you're using technology. Very good, DA. Patingin po. Sige, go. Anong livestock? Example. Kasi itong mga impormasyon na dapat alam ng lahat eh. Tingnan natin. Maganda. Kung meron kayong price watch, volume watch of every commodity in agri-fisheries and you've started with livestock. Tingnan natin. Ano po? Isang sample lang po. Check mo nga
Chair, BAI dashboard. BAI dashboard.
DA?
BAI, Bureau of Animal Industry dashboard.
Okay, check mo. Sige po. Oh, guide us. Sige. We're trying to traverse it, go to that site, and it's a real-time price watch. O, anong presyo? Basahin nyo, ang nababasa po nyo. Anong commodity po at anong presyo? Oh, yung mga bantay kayo. Ubra, agri-fisheries, Mr. Montemayor, the two Montemayors. Kayo mga watchdogs ko, ha? Sige po. Yusek Sombilia. Anong
Okay. So, and then of course, yung private
Hindi po. Gusto ko po makita yung price watch. Ano po ang commodity na nandyan po sa inyo? Nandyan? Price watch? Real time? You have to register. I see. Can you see? Register. So you have to register on that site to access the price watch, ma'am.
Available po siya sa website. Available daw po sa website ng Bureau of Animal Industry.
We're there now. We're there in the website and you have to register on the website to access the information. Is that correct? Is it not for public consumption?
Hindi, public po. Public consumption yan.
Can you please check? Maybe we should make it a more accessible website. Kasi sabi niyo real time. Ito, hihirapan po tayo.
Madam Chair, kaya po ini-improve namin ito kasi medyo may mga lapses pa rin siya. But you know, on the
kasi po, pag nagsasabi po tayo, ganito po ma'am ha, pag nagsasabi tayo, we have a real-time price watch and volume watch of all agri-fisheries commodity. Na-excite po ako. Tapos sabi nyo, hindi, livestock lang pala. Tapos, I'm going to it. Hindi ako makapasok, hindi ko makita. Di wala. Kasi kung hindi, ako po ang nakaharap sa mga tao, in-sponsor ko po to, sasagutin ko sila, meron, tignan nyo. Tapos wala pala, meron. Meron naman. Okay. Tapos?
October 10, 2022 yung last chicken price.
Teka, bakit po 2022 ang mga presyo? Hindi ba nagabago ang presyo?
Bakit? Hindi ba nila na-update?
Ito po, chicken price and volume profile as of October 10, 2022. Sabi niyo po real time. Baka naman hindi ko naintindihan ang ibig sabihin ng real time. Ang ibig sabihin ng real time, updated real time, di ba? Maski pareho yung presyo, kailangan real time. Yung pork and chicken importation data, puro October. Baka nag-resign yung in charge.
Madam Chair, kasi yung last na meeting, Madam Chair, yung last na meeting ko, yung last na meeting kasi sa livestock, sa National Livestock, last time
could we ask the BAI head to come to the Senate today, please? Kasi po, sa inyo po nang galing impormasyon, ma'am. Sabi po nyo, real time. So maganda po yun. October. 7 months po ang delay. Hindi po real time ang tawag po doon. Delayed.
Yes. The last time that I talked with the National Livestock Committee kasi po, they informed me that they have been collecting
presyo.
all this data. So I'm not sure po if they have already included that or updated their
Give them a
website.
chance to update it.
Bantay presyo po.
Ito po, nasa bantay presyo na. So, yung
Yan.
kanino pong
Price
website na
watch.
binigay nyo, opo, yung kanino pong website, October 10, 2022. So, paki-update po yon. Yung
Opo.
bantay presyo po, ito pong binigay nyo, price monitoring,
Document.
Price watch.
o as of, okay, to be fair, yun
April
April 17.
2023.
Yes, April 17. Is this considered real time? It is real time.
Weekly sila.
Weekly. So weekly.
Weekly po, every
O hindi yung website
every
kanina?
Friday.
Hindi. So it's another, ano po yung link? So,
Ito po yung AMAS
po.
yata. This is the AMAS.
so maganda po yung inyong intention. Siguro po, gawin natin, palaganapin natin ang impormasyon at easier access to the information, right? Kasi buti ako, natatanong ko kayo, nag-guide ako ng staff, paano yung gustong malaman lahat ito? But the intention is good for a price and volume watch monitoring, but the easier access for the information is important. And that goes for all agencies of government.
Yes.
O sige, tuloy po.
And that,
Proceed.
Now, we're now also strengthening our the private sector participation through our DA PICAF, yung Philippine Committee for Agriculture and Fishery po. So, para mas magiging, may strengthen yung coordination namin with the private sector. So, in addition to that, so meron po kaming mga PICAF committees which will help us in the participatory monitoring and tracking of DA-funded programs and projects and other interventions at the regional and local levels. I think this is one of the clamor of the private sector, that they get involved in the monitoring and tracking of DA-funded projects. And we're putting up already a system by which we could really, continue to do that. The guidelines aim to mainstream private sector participation in the monitoring of issues and concerns affecting food supply, demand, and prices of agri-fishery commodities. And the venue the venue for that would be our regular meetings under the Philippine Committee on Agriculture and Fisheries. So meron pong committee on livestock, meron pong committee on international trade matters, meron pong committee on high-value crops. So iba-iba pong committee yon. So there are private sector representatives there, and that's where we discuss issues and how we can coordinate and responding the issues. Kasi importante po yung private sector. So that's the third, and then the other.
Ilan po yung committee sa private sector, high-value crops, livestock?
Meron rice, no? May rice, meron pong high-value crops, meron livestock, may fishery, and may corn. So I think
these are your private sector engagements of the DA.
Yes,
and
yes.
each committee has a head from the private sector and a focal person in the DA?
Exactly po. Yes.
Can we have that information, ma'am?
Yes, we will provide you also with that information.
And your price watch will also encompass these product lines in the various committees?
That is the plan, Madam Chair. That's why, we are now also, that's what I mentioned a while ago, we are creating the Price and Volume Watch Steering Committee, not only for the livestock, but also for other products.
Yes. So you will also give us the focal persons in DA for each committee. What is the overarching council, Philippine Council, right?
Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fishery.
Yes. When was that created?
Ma'am, sandali lang po kasi bago lang ako sa DA. Kailan mo?
Si Dr. Ordonez, are you a part of that?
I'm the chairman of.
All of them are part of this.
Well, first of all, I compliment Yusek Sambilla. As a matter of fact, I wrote about her 2 days ago. I am the chair of the International Trade Committee of the Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries, and they've done wonders.
Okay, good. Okay. So, is there a Senate representative for oversight functions? You should you should you should at least let us know about the meetings and what's going on so that we can help you in the private sector, right?
We'll do that, Madam Chair.
Observer seat.
We'll do that, Madam Chair.
Are we allowed to be a member? No, maybe not, or just an observer status? Oh, okay. And so that because we do your budget every year, so how nangangako sa pribadong sektor, tapos sinusumiti nyo sa DBM, kung putulin ang budget nyo, tapos pagdating sa lower house, ganun, tapos sa Senado, so dapat merong representante, pero alam na kaagad ang pinag-uusapan, di ba? So, nakasama dapat yan. That's a suggestion.
Yeah.
Diba?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I'll check on the ano ng PCAF who are supposed to be the membership. I think, you know, as an observer, I think they could be allowed. And I think Dr. Ordonez is that sorry ma'am, hindi ko pa kasi bago nga lang po ako rito.
Kakaupo lang po nyo this year? You just joined DA?
Yes po.
This year.
July 2022.
22. Okay. And then you have the NAFMIP, National Agricultural and Fisheries Modernization and Industrialization Plan, right? Of the previous administration. Does it still stand now or wala na po ito?
Oh, yes po. Yeah, we have already launched it, and I think an executive order is now being cleared with the president so that it can go to, you know, we can have require all agencies also to coordinate with us.
So this is not yet operational. I see.
Operational
So
na rin po internally, yeah. Internally, we are using it already.
It will include provincial commodity investment plans.
Yes po, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this will be like it's the roadmap. Puro roadmap.
It's a consolidation of all the roadmaps. Kasi there are several commodity roadmaps that have been developed in conjunction with the NAFMIP. So the NAFMIP consolidates all of this into one plan. So yun po, para makikita natin yung integration and the harmonization of all the development of all these commodities and how they can be linked to the value chain.
Okay. And this roadmap, ma'am, was crafted already during the time of Secretary Dar, and it's being adopted now.
Yes.
And an executive order is being awaited so that there could be engagements with the other government departments. Is that correct?
That's right, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Because we need also the inputs of, you know, it's really the whole agricultural transformation that's really being talked about now. So we need also the energy, we need the transportation for the logistics system and all these things, Madam Chair. Kaya kailangan po talaga na itong NAFMIP will have to be also coordinated with all the other agencies.
Kasama ba ho sa NAFMIP, sa roadmap na ito o sa paghahanda nyo sa RCEP, yung simpleng agricultural map sa ating mga magsasaka kung ano ang dapat itanim ngayon sa panahon ng pagbabago ng klima, base sa kanilang soil, base sa topography, kondisyon ng lupa, at ano ang may consumer demand. Kasama po yun.
Kasama po yun. Meron po kami ngayon, kasama po doon sa pag-craft ng roadmap, ng NAFMIP, yung Strategic Agriculture and Fisheries Development Zones. Yung zones na ito, nagpapakita kung ano ang vulnerabilities ng mga areas na to, nagpapakita kung ano yung mga commodities that would have comparative advantage in those areas. And so, yun po ang kinuha din nitong provincial Hindi, PCIC.
Commodity Investment Plan.
Commodity Investment Plans. So, nandun po
PCIP.
lahat. So,
Yes.
kailangan po talaga na ito lahat ay pagdudugtungin namin para nga maka-identify po kami ng agricultural development plan for yung sinasabi po ninyo na OTOP kanina. This would be a very good exercise to as inputs to what you are saying a while ago, Madam Chair. And I think that is the plan of DA ngayon, to make use of all these plans and outputs of different projects to come up with this agricultural plans primarily on a provincial basis.
That's good. If we can go as detailed on grassroots as possible, because palagi natin nakikita po ang mga overproduction, overharvest ng ating mga produkto. Kamatis, lechugas, palagi nakikita natin yung mga NGO na sumasagip gaya ng rural rising. Nung isang buwan ay tumulong akong bumili ng ilang tonelada at dinistribute dito sa Senado ng, was it broccoli? Is it broccoli? Cauliflower. Cauliflower galing sa norte. And that's every day. Ang sakit tignan na ang daming nagugutom pero ang daming natatapon. So, how do we address this? Something as basic as that. So much
Yes.
production, mali ba ang tinatanim? Bakit hindi i-link sa consumer demand? But they've been planting that for so long. We can't tell a cauliflower farmer or a kamatis farmer, wag ka na, ito na lang tanim mo. Hindi hindi yun ang kinasanayan niya hindi natin dapat ililink natin sa merkado, sa consumers, sa tamang presyo. Diba ko?
So, yun po yung ginagawa ngayon ng Kadiwa system namin. Na,
Because
initially
Kadiwa,
to
yes.
really, to link the producers to the consumers, no? But of course, we have to, leave this also to the market kasi, there's just so much that we can do with the Kadiwa. We really have to, let the market play talaga with all of these things. So, ang hinihingi ng presidente po ay mga planting calendars so that we can plan out really what exactly should be, we can schedule yung planting activities ng ating mga farmers. I think we really need to improve our information systems with regards to itong climate, yung weather forecast, para that they will also be able to to get real time information and plan out. And dapat gaya ngayon yung the El Nino alert that we are having now. Our National Rice Banner Program are now propositioning, some of the interventions that would be put in place in case this alert, becomes, worsened. So, nandun po yun. Kaya very, very, very important po talaga itong real-time information, weather information din natin. Kasi doon din kami nagbabase kung ano dapat ang intervention na ilalatag para nga matulungan itong mga farmers natin. So our rice banner programs are already, have already some measures by which they could really, roll out once, this El Nino alert progresses. So yun po ang mga importante na kailangan na ilalagay natin, and DA is already doing all of those things. Madam Chair, thank you.
Is that your presentation? Tapos na po, Yusek.
Yan po. And the last one, Madam Chair, is yung sinasabi mo kanina sa BOC on the regulatory instrument to ensure the human, plant, and animal life are safe and protected from pests and diseases. So meron po tayong sanitary and phytosanitary import clearances, no? That's our main instrument to ensure that yung pagkain na pumapasok sa atin is really safe, no? But in addition to that, DA now is going to be in coordination with BOC. We're going to, intensify yung border and quarantine control natin. So, meron po tayong 2 projects ngayon for 2023 to establish yung sinasabi nating cold examination facility in agriculture. So, 2 areas po yung yung for establishment for 2023, tatlo po, one in Luzon, one in Visayas, and one in Mindanao, with a budget of 2.2 billion. So, yun ang problema na nga lang po na tinitignan namin kung yung area po to put up this kasi tinitignan namin yung most strategic area where to put up these facilities. But the money is already there. BAI is already, onto this project. So we'll just provide you with updates on how these projects are being implemented. So yun lang po, Madam Chair, to prepare for this RCEP thing. So it's really production improvement, development of products, closer monitoring in terms of the price and volume watch, and of course the import surges that USEC Jepti mentioned about. Of course, the coordination with the private sector, and of course this border and quarantine control to be intensified. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We will await USEC a submission from a DA for the 15 products, for the 33 tariff lines. What are the preparations for each? Right? Yun po yung submission nyo, anong bureau under you, at anong programa na sabi nyo ay funded under GAA 2023. And you will also give us the focal persons from the private sector and the DA for each committee under the council, right? And you will also update your website real time and other online platforms for the price and volume watch monitoring for all agri-fisheries products, not just livestock. That's a summary of what are the deliverables from the DA. Nawala siya ulit. USEC. Thank you very much, USEC. Okay. We just have a 12 minutes. Thank you very much, USEC.
Thank you,
I
Madam
just
Chair. Thank you.
need to be excused 12 minutes CR, and you can also have lunch so that we're not eating while we're on Facebook Live. Ipatay mo muna natin ang live, and let's see, 12 minutes. It's 11:49. So count my 12 minutes, a CR break. Pwede po kayong sumubo po para hindi tayo sumusubo na naka-live dyan. And we suspend our hearing, and we'll resume in 12 minutes or less. We'll be back because we probably have another hour after the CR break. Thank you. after the presentation of Yusek Sombilya.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chairperson, maraming salamat. No? There's a
Yes.
few comments dun sa presentation. No? Unang-una, when we were talking about this RCEP and we mentioned these 33 tariff lines, we were told that you don't have to worry because these are minor tariff lines, not big trade volumes, very little reduction in tariffs. No? So wag kayong magbabahala dyan. So I'm a little bit surprised why the DA is now focusing its attention on these 33 tariff lines. No? When in fact we have more than 1,000 other tariff lines in agriculture that are even more vulnerable to trade pressures, even if their tariffs have not been changed. No? So, yun yung isang kuwan ko. Bakit dun sa 33 lang? Hindi naman importante yung olives. What will happen to us if we are flooded with olives? So yun lang yung unang comment ko. No? What do we do with the...
ASEC Jepti will answer. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Montemayor. Sagot pakisagot. ASEC
Madam
Jepti.
Chair, I will also answer, please.
Who is that? Yusek.
Yusek,
Sige,
yes
kayo
po.
po. Okay, sagutin niyo muna si Mr. Montemayor po.
Yeah.
Tapos si ASEC Jepti. Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Montemayor, this is only in response to the RCEP kasi they want a comprehensive implementing plan. The DA's program is all sa lahat po ng ating mga agricultural and fisheries. Yun po yun. Ang binanggit ko lang po ngayon is really just for this comprehensive implementation plan in response to the RCEP. Pero you pretty well know po naman na ang DA program is really for the agriculture and the fishery sector. So, yun po ang simpleng sagot, Madam Chair, doon sa katanungan ni Mr. Montemayor. Salamat po.
Sana po maliwanag yun, Mr. Montemayor. This is an RCEP hearing, sir. That's the reason why we're focusing on the 33 tariff lines, and that is what I'm asking the DA. It does not mean, however, that the Philippine government and the DA, DTI, NEDA, even the Senate Agriculture Committee or RCEP Oversight will only focus on olives and preserved onions. Hindi po. Because there were other FTAs that we entered into, including the EFTA, which I sponsored in 2018, the trade education, the preparedness of DA will encompass all other products. But my mandate, sir, as chair of the Oversight Committee, is to focus on RCEP. But it does not mean ignore the others. No, we will help all sectors and not just this committee, but it's really whole of government approach. But I understand what you're saying. There are other problems brought about from the time of our accession to the WTO and all other FTAs. Naintindihan ko po kayo.
Opo. So, but I think when we talk about RCEP, we talk about its impact on the whole sector, not only on these 33 products now. Anyway, our main concern is it's very clear that the DA's programs for agriculture have not been working in terms of preparing us for trade. No? Napakaliwanag sa trade deficit natin, lumalala. No? You submitted a lot of programs to the committee on how the DA will address RCEP. Most of these are old existing programs, no? And frankly, they have not worked, no? Because our deficit is just increasing. So ang hinahanap sana po namin, ano ba yung mga bagong strategies, ano yung bagong approaches, no? That we will try out so that we will improve our competitiveness in terms of being able to export more products. At the same time, our defensive interests in protecting vulnerable sectors, not just the 33 tariff lines. No? Yun po ang hinahanap namin. No? And I'm sorry, I have to be frank. No? So far, there has been no serious in-depth discussion with the DA on this front. No? Even if they say there are so many committees, there is no dedicated discussion on how to prepare our farmers for trade and RCEP.
Let me answer, Mr. Montemayor. I appreciate your intervention. It is not a complaint. it's a very valid observation. I request the DA, USEC, to also submit, please, we have the list already from WTO time of the widening trade deficit. And so, what is a roadmap? How do we address it with a game-changing initiative different from the past years? You're correct, Mr. Montemayor, the gap is widening. That means we're doing something not right. So what are we doing? Or perhaps, the Federation of Free Farmers, kayo po mamungkahi sa amin, sa DA, kung ano ang dapat gawin. Kayo ang maalam, alam nyo yung problema, alamin ang solusyon. Kung hindi nyo alam ang solusyon, DA dapat magsolusyon dyan. Kaya nga nandyan sila, hindi ba? At kami, tutulong kami sa solusyon. Paano? Sa proposed bills kung kailangan ng batas, pero sayang lang ang batas kung di naman gagawin, gagampanan. At yung funding sa anumang programa ng gobyerno, kung di pa existing yung programa, kayo na po ang mungkahi. Kaya gusto ko sa bawat hearing nandyan kayo. Gusto ko may nagtatanong, gusto ko may lumalaban, gusto kong may umaangal. Kasi dyan lalabas ang solusyon eh. Di ba po? So, I would request Mr. Montemayor to submit to the committee what's the roadmap you like? What is a government program that does not work, that should be forgotten? What is a government project that has not been done, that should be done? Yan. Gagawin ko po sa kakayanan ko, but I will also ask the DA to do that. Pero let me just explain, the mandate of this committee is RCEP, but it does not mean that we cannot talk about the other product lines because, products don't exist in isolation of each other. So, yes, we will take this up in all the consultations. Remember, sir, this is an organizational meeting and this is an organizational meeting, but I hear you and I would request you to teach us how to close in the widening trade deficit among many of our products in the past decades, not just years. Kasi pag may umaangal, gusto ko palaging, sana ganito. Kung ako nasa posisyon nyo at may resources, ito ang gagawin ko. Can I request you, Mr. Montemayor, to submit that to the committee so we can share it with everybody?
Opo, but I wouldn't like this committee to be a forum for debate between us and the DA, no? Kung pwede sana, ma'am, instructionan niyo yung DA na kausapin kami ng masinsinan tungkol dito. So that when we come to this committee, we will be together in presenting our plans and our proposals.
Yes. Are you not part of the council?
Well, those committees that they are mentioning, they are committee meetings, regular meetings, but they are not focused on these trade issues. Ang gusto sana namin, yung talagang dedicated, in-depth discussion, how do we handle trade agreements like RCEP or other trade agreements so that we can actually benefit from them. No? Nakatutok dun yung discussion. No? Wala po yun. Wala po yun.
That is the mandate of this committee we created, sir.
Yes.
This is the mandate of this committee, and help me help the industry, help me help the farmers by deviating from very general statements and tell me exactly, I know many of the problems, but how to get there and solve it. Your wish list, sir, if you could give us that and give DTI and DA, I'm not promising I can solve all the problems of the country with regards to agriculture, but we will try to do our best.
Okay.
Yung masinsinang usapan, gusto ko po yan, masinsinang usapan.
Madam
Sige,
Chair,
sandali po, gagawa tayo ng hearing. Okay? Focus natin sa, kayo na po, talagang very specific on the sectors that the Federation of Free Farmers wants. Harapan dito, masinsinang usapan. Pero kailangan, advance sinasabi sa DA para ang sagot ng DA hindi yung sa next hearing, maghahanda kami, hindi. So, bigay po nyo sa amin, Mr. Montemayor, bibigay po namin sa DA at kung sinong in charge ng programang yon, aalamin po natin. Are you okay with that, Mr.
Well,
Montemayor?
Yes, we will try to come up with that. We have our Bantay RCEP initiative. So that could be one of our tasks to come up with this list of interventions. No? And
In fact, just submit it today, sir. Kasi gusto namin malaman yung mga lahat ng hinaing nyo eh. Submit it today and then we give it to the DA after this hearing. So before the end of the day or the week, meron silang sagot sa ginagawa nila. Ganun po.
Sige po,
Okay lang
we
po.
will try our best. And then finally, Madam Chair, siguro we measure our performance on the basis of measurable parameters. Kasi nung tinutulak
Yes.
yung RCEP, sabi nila our export will increase by so much. No? Investments will increase by so much. GDP will increase by so much. Jobs will be created. Let's measure those indicators if in fact RCEP is working. No? Totoo ba yung mga projections nila? No?
That's very good suggestion. Maybe we can ask the DTI, NEDA, and the other agencies, can you give us a clear measuring stick? What kind of measuring process? How do we measure that? PSA, right? NEDA, we can measure it every quarter. And when is it realistically possible for us to measure? Annually? Annually. Yeah, just like we measure GNP, GDP, inflation, all of that, annually. And we can't measure it yet because June 2 ang effectivity. So perhaps on June 2024, or can we measure it already by December 2023? Subukan natin. Oo, kung wala pa, di wala. Tama kayo. Kailangan sukatin. Jobs generated. Intervention sa iba't ibang aspeto ng agrikultura at sa pangingisda. Oh, sige. At kung talagang hindi nakakatulong, bigyan natin ng ilang taon. Oh, nandiyan naman ako 5 taon eh. Siguro naman makikita natin ang ngiti si DTI. Okay. Tama po yan. Tama nga mga mungkahi nyo. Sige, i-memo po nyo sa akin. Diretso. Ngayon hapon, Mr. Montemayor, bigay po nyo sa akin ang inyong kooperatiba at ang inyong federasyon. Bigay po nyo lahat ng angal nyo. Iisa-isahin ko po yan. At bibigay po natin sa mga ahensya, sagutin nila. At kung wala ang tulong sa GAA ngayong taon, hinahanda na nila ang NEP para sa GAA 2024 para po natugunan.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Yes,
That's the role of this committee. Okay. Thank you. So we hear from Yusek Mercy. Were you speaking? Did you want an answer? Did you want to answer or meron na po?
Yes, Madam. I was just going to inform the body that there is this PICAF Committee on International Trade, where these are being discussed, and this is being chaired by Dr. Ordonez. I think there was one session wherein the RCEP was tackled. But moving forward, Madam Chair, there is a plan to establish 4 core groups under that PICAF International Trade Committee. One would be on a group that will look into concerns with regards to smuggling. One would be on concerns with regards to trade negotiations. The third one would be an assessment of free trade agreements. And the fourth one would be an export promotion. So this would really indeed help, Madam Chair. And I would really just like to, ask our private sector representatives and members of this PICAF, to be more, collaborative in terms of discussing this. Hindi palaging tinitira ang DA. So yun lang po ang aking hinihingi, that we should be more constructive in coming up with measures.
The council, right? The council.
Opo.
Yes. Yusek, maganda naman tinitira kasi gusto natin malaman kung anong mga mali no? Ito naman po, okay lang po 'yun sa akin. Hindi naman po ako nang sasagot para sa inyo, kaya nga kailangan bigyan niyo ako ng input. Maganda na ayaw natin marinig na tayo'y magaling. Gusto natin marinig kung bakit palpak ang gobyerno para mas umigting ang paglilingkod serbisyo. Okay lang po 'yon. Bawal mapikon pag nasa gobyerno. Hindi naman personal tinitira. Tayo po, yung mga proyekto na palpak. Bakit naman hindi titirahin? Talagang ang laki ng trade deficit. Talaga naman po may smuggling. Talagang pong mahal ang presyo ng bilihin at talaga naman hindi umaandar ang maraming proyekto sa gobyerno. Kung ako rin naman, ako mismo, nasa gobyerno, nasa legislatura, na gumagawa kami ng mga panukalang batas at nagko-question. Kaya maganda pong tinitira tayo para po alam natin ang kamalian po natin at maganda, may suggestion sila na gagawin po natin. It's a learning experience. That's okay. Ayoko nagsasabi, magaling, maganda. O sige,
Yes po.
pero gutom ang tao Di ba?
Yeah.
Mas magandang yung tinitira, hindi man tira po yan These are complaints, valid. These are suggestions and
Yeah.
recommendations, good. We learn from them. Tama
But we
po?
would also, just like what you said, Madam Chair, a while ago, to provide us with what would be, what they would want to see. So yun po sana din ang coordinative
Actually, alam na natin yan
measures.
What they want to see. All of us want to see no smuggling. How do we do that? Di ba?
And how
We
we're
want
going to do it.
We want to see commodities being bought by consumers or lower price. We already know what we want to see. Kaya lang taon-taon yan ang mga problema at nagiging mas malala. Kaya may dahilan po silang magalit Di ba nakakagalit naman talaga mga nangyari?
Yes po.
Kaya
Ang
nga
problema
tayo.
wala namang solusyon na ibibigay.
Ay, hindi. Tungkulin natin maghanap ng solusyon. May karapatan
it
po
has
sila,
to
nagabayad
it
ng
has
buwis
to
ng
be
taong bayan,
collaborative.
ang ginagamit natin, opo, hindi. I understand you also. That's why I asked them, give me your wish list and give me your recommendations and I will help you with DA and DTI and all others to try to accomplish that. But the anger has basis. Because there's so much wastage in government. And because there's continuing smuggling. So the anger has basis. Okay? Having said that, thank you very much, Yusek Sumbilya. Thank you, Mr. Montemayor.
din po.
Yes, there's a hand raise. Or was it Ernie? No. Miss Attorney Inshong of the UBRA, United Broiders.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
yes, my hand was raised.
Attorney
After
Inchong first and
completing.
then Dr. Ordonez. And then we have TJP Centro, Benjamin Alvero, Sinag, Jaiso Kainglet, and Neda Bian Ganapin. Okay, proceed please.
Ma'am, magandang hapon. Ang common ma'am sa lahat ng problema dyan, hindi pa natin napapatupad yung Section 38 ng ACMA on having an National Information Network for Agriculture. Wala tayong data system na may buy-in lahat. Yung price and volume watch na binabanggit ni Yusek Sumbilya, ipinaglaban pa namin yun. Tagal na namin pinaglalab. Resurrection yun, ma'am. Dati meron nung panahon ni GMA at saka ni Pinoy. Tapos medyo sporadic nung panahon ni Piñol. Nawala nung sumunod. In fairness to Yusek Sumbilya and ASEC Evangelista, we are on our 3rd month of that effort to resurrect. And marami pong kailangan gawin. But kung sa smuggling, ma'am, governance, policy, planning, roadmap, you need data. Yun ho ang walang buy-in. Ang classic example ho niyan, yung latest brouhaha sa rice. Hindi magkasundo ano yung per capita income na doon the demand side. Hindi magkasundo ano yung actual production. Kasi nung carry over ho yung supply niyan Ang claim ho ng DA noong 2021, record high harvest ang palay at ang mais. Noong 2022, 1% lang daw ang binaba ng production. Tapos ang record high din naman ng importation. Bakit ngayon kulang? Kaya there's really, for us to move forward and to plan, kailangan siguro budgetan yung establishment of the National Information Network para may buy-in lahat, igagalang ng lahat. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, ang dami oras ang nasasayang, even in Senate hearings or in House hearings. Sino yung may tamang data? Tsaka
Bakit
importante.
wala tayo? Excuse me, Attorney Inchang, para makasagot na kagad ang DA. Yusek, alam ko bago lang kayo dyan. Tanongin nyo sa mga old-timers dyan, bakit nga hindi pinapatupad yon panahon pa ng AFMA? Or do we have it?
Yes, well, yun na nga po. That's why I mentioned a
There's
while
been
ago.
mismanagement or we ignore it. So, it's valid. It's valid. Hindi pwedeng walang pera. Daming pera.
Apo. Hindi po.
Gawin po natin, Yusek.
Yes, I think and that is what I mentioned a while ago na meron na pong project to establish po yung information network system na matagal na pong hinihingi and provided for by AFMA. Yun po talagang palaging hinihingi po ng private sector namin.
Tama naman eh.
Kaya, yeah po. Opo.
Tama
Opo,
naman eh.
kaya po ngayon pinapatupad na po and I will try to see to it that is going to happen na. Opo.
Sino pong in charge, ma'am?
Sa ICTS po namin, yung Information, Communication, and Technology service po namin.
Ano pong timeline? Kailan natin ma-inaugurate yan?
Medyo matagal nga po ito. Ang sinasabi nila is 4 years, pero
Ay, hindi pwede po.
I'll try to talk to them po. Kaya nga hindi ko po masyadong inano yon. That is what they provided us. But I think I will have to, but I am putting up a database. Ito, alam na po ng PICAF ito kasi palagi ko silang kausap. That's it. Tama po yung sinasabi ng ating stakeholders po na iba-iba pong data ang nanggagaling kung depende kung nasaan office. So my first move with regards to that is I ask everybody who is generating, collecting, monitoring data to submit it to my office. And we will be the one to process the data para alam po namin talaga saan nanggagaling itong mga iba-ibang data and to come up with what DA's data, ano dapat ang ilalabas niya na data in terms of production supply.
Ma'am, hindi po pwedeng 4 years. Ano po ang ating timeline kaya?
Ma'am, I will have to check with them.
Okay.
I will have to check
Okay,
with
to
them.
be
ma'am.
realistic.
I cannot answer you now. But I will have to check with them and I try to really fast track itong putting up of this information system. So yun lang po ang aking masasabi ngayon. Talagang totoo po, ang dami-dami pong data na nanggagaling. Kaya yun po, what I'm trying to do now to fix that problem is to make my office the central depository of all this data being collected para we can make a sense out of them kung ano ba talaga ang dapat gagamitin ng DA. And that
But if
data
it
should be the one.
If it was implemented in the previous administrations,
Hindi ko po alam.
so nandiyan na yung digital infrastructure, no?
Yeah.
You said it was implemented in previous
Yung price
administrations.
and volume watch, ma'am, ang na-implement nung panahon ni GMA as a response to a shortage noong 2003. Pero yung data system na accessible to everyone and may buy-in lahat. And it was only limited to chicken, pork, and data from customs. Kung meron man. Wala ho talaga yung intention, hindi pa napapatupad yung intention ng AFMA. At saka if I may respond, ma'am, yung 4 years, siguro man para mapadali, para may yung low-lying fruits man lang mapakinabangan. The DA immediately should call a meeting of the stakeholders. Ano yung kailangan nyo para you can avoid damage from imports? Halimbawa, undervaluation ho or merong unbelievable volume na napakababa when you compare it to international data.
Attorney Inchong,
Kasi ma'am,
draft a resolution from me. I will author it and it will be referred to this committee.
Sige, ma'am.
So, imbis na sila po ang tumawag, ako na po tatawag sa lahat ng stakeholders at lahat ng tanong nyo, tayo na ang gagawa dito.
No, sige, ma'am.
Oh, ganun.
Sige, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh. Okay? So,
Ikaw?
I will send it to Ernie Ordonez so he can relay it to you.
you can email it directly to us. And maybe have Neda.
I thought I was going to be next.
Ernie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I start with anger and hope. You're right, we are angry. We've been treated very badly, but I continue with hope because ever since you raised these guidelines, the day has been moving very fast. And I want to thank Yusek Sombilia because she has been open, and the 4 groups she mentioned were created by myself as the chair of International Trade Committee, the newly recommended permanent chair, International Trade Committee. And the 4 parts were done by us the day before Holy Week. And 2 of the 4 key people are Bong and Chong for impact trade assessment, etc. Raul Montevideo for trade policy. And 2 others, Philip Young, who is the head of the Export Development Committee, Council for Agri, and of course myself for smuggling. Having said that, I'd like to give this report. Ever since this thing came out, that this has conditionalities or guidelines, things have moved very fast. I documented that last Friday in the Inquirer. I'd like to say things have moved very fast. So I'd like to give this brief report. Of your 30 conditionalities, 6 of them were recommended by our alliance. I'll give the names. Tanchuling, president of Alianza Agricultura, and they are part and parcel and in the leadership with Montemayor, following leadership of Montemayor for the Bantay RCEP. Alianza Agricultura is a key member there. The second one is Danny Fausto, head of the chamber, who has 42 agribusiness sectors. They are really intent on turning RCEP into an advantage, though it has dangers for agri, it can be done with agribusiness. The third is Science and Academe, headed by Emil Javier, with universities from the north to the south. And with these 3, I now tell you the 6 conditionalities, and I will give you the report. As you are overseeing it, we are overseeing it, and we have a report today to you. Ever since that momentous day when you passed it with conditionalities, we'd like to give a very brief report on the 6 points. First point, if we have a very competitive budget compared to other countries, let me report the facts before President Marcos moved. 2% for the Philippines compared to 4% for Thailand, compared to 6% for Vietnam. And of the 2% for the Philippines, 1/3 of the 2% was reported as unliquidated and unexplained expenses. Can you imagine that? How can we proceed? So our first conditionality, we said the Agri-Fishers Alliance is not just farmers, it's also agribusiness and academia. Our stand is the following. Let's be clear, it's a little different, all right? We said the following. If it is proven that industry and services have advantages, even if they are more than the disadvantages of agriculture, we still do not want to do this unless you do these 6 conditions. Thanks to Senator Lagarde and others, you have these 6 conditions. So the first one is, if we have settled budget and it's corrupted, we demand the restoration. I repeat, restoration, meaning it worked before they abolished it. We are so sad and angry that good things are destroyed. And we want to restore what they call the private sector monitoring of the DA budget, which we recommended. They abolished it, and we went corruption sky high. I will now report, Senator Regarda, what has happened. I will report to you as of last night. I'm monitoring all of this. As of last night, we said that they would do this, give the list to the people so they can monitor it. As of last night, we heard that the regional people and the municipal and provincial councils, right, they're monitoring, they stopped all this monitoring, right? They stopped it. As of last night, the order has been given, it is not filtered down to this yet. So we hope that in 7 days it does that. First point. Second point, with RCEP, we'll have more imports, obviously. If the smuggling and the quarantine, dysfunctional, dangerous systems continue, we'll have worse. So what did we say? Restoration. Again, restoration. What is so difficult? How about restoring a good thing that will work and you killed it? Again, it's evil that has come in. That restoration of that community is shown, improved. Outside, not politicians or NGOs, outside, they succeeded in decreasing smuggling by 25%. And then we caught some people, they abolished it. That's why they abolished it. They caught some people. And restored again with a 31% improvement, destroyed again by these people. And today, smuggling runs rampant. We want restoration. Madam Chair, I'd like to report to you that the representative of the Office of the President, instead of us going there, they came to us. They came to us, which means something is happening because of your guidelines. They came to us and they said, you want this anti-smuggle committee that's destroyed twice, we want to restore it. How should we do it? That is a sign. The Office of the President coming to us, and instead of us going to them, asking us how to do it. That is fantastic. Without the RCEP resolution, this would never have happened. We've been doing this for many years, only now it happened. So that it's progress, and they're doing it now. The third point. The third point is exactly what we've been talking about, the market information system. You know, I attended the budget hearing on DA that I'd like to compliment DA. I think it's changing now, all right? It's changing now. Basically, market information system, I reported to you, Madam Chair, that less than 1% of the budget was for this. And now they're increasing it. However, the question I asked is, do you know what a market information system is? All right, because the report you got, the money is for hardware. What we need is what Mr. Inchong said. It is not so much the hardware, it is the content. It is not just giving prices left and right. What do we need? I would like to report to you that the market information system must be what other countries have. And we, as Mr. Inchong said, there was never an effort to do it. That's why some people wanted to go to the Supreme Court and sue the Department of Agriculture for ignoring a 1997 law. Where is that market information network? I remember last year when I asked about it, they said, we're going to give 40% to Kadiwa, 20% for the youth, and 0.7% for market intelligence. Okay, so after I complained, they said, oh, we followed your suggestion. We improved. What is it? It's now 1.4%. Well, this is really a disaster. As a matter of fact, they want to go to the Supreme Court. But I say no, because with Musec Sombilia, with their openness, and Yusuf Panganiban and all that, is changing, correct? And I'm glad you're having a resolution to do this, because more important than the structure is, what is it? Do you not know? Just to let you know, we are telling people to plant cacao in between coconut trees. The market information system should have detected that that was good before, not anymore. Because the market information system missed the fact that South Africa has come back into the game. And to make money, you need 2.0 kilos per plant. Our average is 0.7 kilos. If you ask people to plant cacao, they will all lose money unless they do it in strategic areas. That is what the market information system is. It talks about the world market, it talks about the soils, etc., what you talk about. So I'd like to say that I saw the increase, it's now in 100 billion. However, we'd like to make sure they know what the content is. And we'd like to, again, compliment you, Secretary, because she's open about this. The fourth one is something we've looked at. Again, we're not yet satisfied. I think this is what will make it good. Do you know, well, I think you know this, you know more than many other people. You know much more than me. But our country will never progress. We are condemned to poverty because 75% of our land is monocrop, meaning to say, It is rice, corn, coconut, right? And they have nothing there, right? And they're 1 hectare each, correct? So what we wanted is a plan, and we hope RCEP will make it happen, because if you do not do this, we'll continue to die. It's called consolidation. Not of one company grabbing the lands of small, but doing the Taiwan model of small consolidating and all that. You know, talk and talk and talk and talk. Where is the plan? Where's the budget? You know, in Thailand, they don't call it Ministry of Agriculture. Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives. Here, all this talk, instead of consolidating, you're splitting. Now it's 1 hectare per farmer. You will never, never, never succeed. You can succeed if the 1 hectares are consolidated. There's no plan. We have not seen the plan or the budget or the program. I've seen it. It's so ridiculous, right? So hopefully this, what have I seen? I've seen a little money for consolidation. The plan is so unthorough, and we hope this committee will make it happen. The fifth and the sixth, I won't go into it anymore. I'd like to compliment again the Department of Agriculture. I remember we were furious because we went to Eurofiles in the Senate. We said, 100 organizations say there's problems. What do you have? Is it confidential? I saw it. There are no threats to RCEP. This is totally absurd. Absurd. Now, thankfully, we got a report of some threats finally after 10 months. But they're too vague and all that. I'd like to say yes, somebody is working on this. So we have the threats, because it is ridiculous for them to say there are no threats. Ridiculous. And the last one is 131 organizations talked about it. But I'd like to compliment the Department of Agriculture. They have a list of threats now, but it's not clear enough. But with Jessica Sambilia, hopefully that will be better with Jessica Panglim and all that. And the last one is, we're fed up with this talk, rhetoric and no reality. We're fed up. The last one, which is also in your conditionality, is let's see first of all, Chair Lagarda, I'd like to say that watching you, you're very specific. We applaud this because we have not been specific. It's all rhetoric. The last one is, give us the plan, the budget program. It's exactly what you want. So I'd like to say this. Ever since this thing came up with conditionalities, I've seen the department move quickly. Yusek Sambilia, even from NEDA, she's open, correct? She's open. And I'd like to say that this meeting of international trade happened before Holy Week, correct? And since I just became chairman, recommended as permanent chairman, the 4 committees have as key people, Mr. Rene Motor, who I think is much better than me and much better than everyone else, being a key person, Mr. Inchong being another key person for the impact, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd like to say, my report is this. Thank God these guidelines came in, because we're seeing action. Thank God Yusek Sambilia is open. Of course, we have things to discuss. And so I say we will monitor, and thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dr. Ordonez. Thank you for your very open discussion, and not just the recognition, but gusto ko yung problema, I like complaints because it educates me, it enlightens me. Okay, what we do. So the 30 conditionalities are here. Let's do an email thread or Viber thread, whichever, with the stakeholders. I want Federation of Free Farmers there, Federation of Cooperatives there, Raul Montemayor, Leonardo Montemayor, Attorney Insyong, nandyan si Alan Jepti, nandyan si Yusek Sambilio, nandyan si Dr. Ordonez, nandyan si Dr. Emilia Herrera, wag ninyo ko isama, nandyan si Ipat Luna, nandyan si Trina Tejada. So, yung 30, maliban dyan, gagawa tayo. Yung 30, gagawa tayo ng matrix. Yung conditionalities na linigay namin, pinaghirapan dito, 6 galing sa kanila. Paano na yung balanse, yung 24? So, yung 24, una, conditionalities. Saan ang galing? Sino nagmungkahi? Sino ang answerable, accountable na ahensya ng gobyerno? Anong bureau doon? Sinong direktor? Sinong ASEC, USEC? Sino ang assistant director, whatever, at anong programa ang tumutugon sa conditionality to. Kung wala pa, di gagawa tayo. Kung wala pa, di alamin natin sa stakeholder na naglagay ng conditionality kung ano ang gusto nila, di papondohan natin. Diba? So, meron tayong matrix nung 30. Hindi pwede tong magandang binasa ko, napasa ko, tapos na siya. Hindi. Ganyan. Tapos, kada buwan, every 30 days, nagre-report yung ahensya. Di si 30 ang conditionalities. Binasa mo, 6 sa inyo. Sino nagbungkahi? Sino ang nag-i-implement? Ano ang existing government program? Tapos nagre-report si ahensya. Every 30 days, may report siya sa committee. O every 15, every 30 days na lang. O every quarter. O quarter na lang kasi nakita ko nagsimangot ang mga executive. Every quarter. Sige, every 3 months. Every 3 months. So, bahala kayo kung anong platform ang gusto nyo. Naka-Facebook Messenger ba kayo? Naka-Viber? Naka-email? Kasama kayo dun. So, yung 30 yon hindi dapat nauulila. Dapat meron siyang ahensyang accountable na siyang gumagawa. At hindi pwede sabihin ng ahensya, di namin alam eh. Sa Senate resolution nga eh. So, lahat ng attendees ngayon na binasa ni attorney, bigyan mo ng kopya ng resolution natin, ha? Baka hindi pala nila alam. Oo, ano ang sagot ni BOC? Anong sagot ni NEDA? Anong sagot? Lahat. Hindi makapagsalita lahat, syempre. Pero, kung may naghanda po sa inyo ng opening statement, yung interventions, at hindi kayo makapagsalita, isumitin nyo. Yung staff ko naman, sa-summarize nyo, executive summary sa akin, pero sa inyo ang soft and hard copies. Tapos kailangan gumawa tayo ng RCEP room dito. Yan ang war room natin. Yung RCEP room, dun lahat. Tapos si COMSEC at yung mga staff ko and help me with consultants to help us. And there should be an RCEP focal person in every department present here. Pero syempre, ang ating focal, si ASEC Ctte. Siya nag-negotiate ito eh. Kung pahamak ito, siya nagpahamak sa atin. Kung matagumpay ito, salamat kay Ctte. Hindi ba? Ganun eh. Ituturo ko siya. Mali ko na itong RCEP na ito. Yung EFTA, natutuwa ako. Dahil yung EFTA na inisponsor ko ay nag-close ang trade deficit. Hindi, na-reverse. From negative to positive. O di yun, proud ako. Akong EFTA sponsor. Kasi, ulitin mo nga. Ulitin mo. Yung sinabi mo, ASEC Ctte. Because of EFTA in 2018, nakapag-export ang Pilipinas sa Switzerland, part of the EFTA countries, ng... Hindi, alam mo yan. Don't check the records. Alam mo yon, ikaw nagsabi sa akin, ng dating gawang abroad, dito ginagawa sa Laguna na electric fan. At, di ba, Dyson. Memory ko ha, mas bata ka sa akin. So, yun ang ehemplo. Because of that, made in the Philippines and an economic zone, we export to Switzerland. Hindi lang na-close ang trade deficit, it's now the balance of trade is in our favor. Right? So meron naman FTA na may konting tagumpay. We don't know how long it's... So if we could do this and micromanage this and even closing the deficits for some commodities, right? Right? Okay. So thank you for reporting on your 6. We have to report on the 30. And who's in charge of which. Okay, next. Before that, kanina pa nag-raise hand, NEDA, can we hear from Mr. Bien Ganapin? And then Mr. Avero, Mr. Kainglet, and then I'll ask Dole. Okay. NEDA, thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, to the honorable members of the committee. We just wanted to share, Madam Chair, some of the updates on NEDA's initiative with regards to the Senate Resolution 42. So first, Madam Chair, in terms of item A, measures to build competitive and comparative advantages. On the part of the NEDA, we are ongoing po yung aming innovation projects funded by the NEDA Innovation Grants in 2022. So these are projects po that showcase the role of LGUs as a resource catalyst for inclusive growth, competitiveness, and the development of MSMEs. So this, Madam Chair, these multi-sectoral and multi-component initiatives are, the purpose of this is to boost the competitiveness and marketability of MSMEs in various support services such as product development, product standardization, branding, intellectual property, even registration, packaging, and label design improvement. So this, Madam Chair, seeks to strengthen yung competitiveness ng ating MSMEs. So
You
para
you
may
mentioned
competitive-
about the Innovation Act. So may silbi naman pala yung aking batas.
Yes, ma'am.
Ginagawa nyo. Bagong batas yan eh.
Yes po.
Yung IRR natapos lang
Yes, ma'am.
2019, I think. That's the output of APEC. And it's an original bill of the Senate. I principally authored that in 2018. And it was sponsored by Senator Gatchalian,
ma'am.
enacted into law. I
Correct,
thought it
ma'am.
was not
Opo.
being implemented by NEDA and DTI because it's a very new law. May saysay.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am. Apo,
Yeah. So-
may say naman po. At saka,
Very
yes, ma'am.
good.
Apo, ma'am.
So,
Yeah, dagdag ko rin, ma'am. Si ma'am, kayo muna po.
no. Continue.
Okay po. In terms of item B, Madam Chair, ito yung sa Senate resolution pa rin po, yung interventions to stimulate and support innovation. Nilink pa rin namin po ito, ma'am, doon sa innovation agenda. In fact, we have adopted already the NEDA Innovation Council, already adopted the National Innovation Agenda. It was approved last July 2022. So this is the first part of the National Innovation Agenda and Strategy Document, or the NIAS-D. Ito po yung nakalagay sa batas ninyo po, which will lay down the overall innovation framework and priority areas for the country in the next 10 years. So among the areas po, yung identify na 10 priority areas are learning and education, health, food and agribusiness, finance, trade, transportation and logistics, public administration, security and defense, energy, and blue economy and water.
Very good.
So this, yes, ma'am.
Stop. I'm excited. So NEDA already passed that framework based on the Innovation Act. Is that what you're reading? The sectors?
Yes,
That's-
ma'am. Bali,
That's a year ago, July
yung
2022.
National Innovation Agenda. Yes, ma'am.
The Innovation
Opo.
Agenda. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll set a meeting for NEDA to present to me the sectors, and these are like the blue economy, of course, or advocacy, everything you mentioned, and what innovation are you doing for each sector? So be ready to explain that, because ilan yan? 10 ang ginawa nyo?
Yung priority areas, ma'am, na na-identify,
Okay.
yes po.
Okay. So these are 10 sectors, and this will all benefit. Kasi blue economy na lang. Di, syempre, agri-fisheries will benefit from that. Because by implementing the Innovation Act and the sectors that you recommended, it will strengthen the fishery sector, it will strengthen MSMEs, that will make them more competitive, that will make them more export quality, that will also make them competitive so that when tariffs are down to zero, when imported products in that sector, if ever it's part of the tariff lines, they will survive and thrive, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
by the implementation of this new law, the Innovation Act, and the quick, effective action of NEDA as vice chairperson, right? It's Sec Balisacan, who's a vice chair of the Innovation Council based on my law. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tama ba? NEDA ang vice chair?
Yes, Madam Chair.
And the president is the chair, right?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, imagine. So, who sits on behalf of the president, OP? Who convenes it? Or hindi pa na-convene?
Nag-convene na, ma'am, pero ang pinag-chair po was,
NEDA.
yung first meeting, NEDA po yung pinag-chair.
Okay. May I also request that perhaps observer status, my office as principal author of the Senate, di ba? So, what was it kanina, yung sabi kong yung Philippine Council, dapat may observer status tayo. At saka dito sa Innovation Council. So that I know what's happening and I can also give assistance for resources and policies for the different sectors under the innovation agenda, right? And give us a copy of the
Yes, ma'am.
innovation agenda. Okay, then be ready for a presentation. And
Yes.
perhaps
Yes, ma'am.
you should present to the RCEP group in an RCEP committee hearing. So they will also see how they can benefit from another law. Okay? That's moving forward. Sige. So,
Madam Chair.
okay, proceed. So that's the, so your input is this is what you're doing in the implementation of the Innovation Act, and MSMEs will benefit, and that's how we can assist. But we need more teeth, more operational details in these sectors that you mentioned. Anong mga industriya doon, anong mga produkto, anong mga sektor doon. Mas laman, pero maganda yung binanggit nyo. Okay?
Yes, Madam Chair. Opo. Moving forward po, Madam
Yeah.
Chair, we will have this more meat dito po sa mga initiatives po na ito, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we will schedule a meeting, briefing, or hearing na, so that NEDA can present to us and all stakeholders will be invited so they can see how they can, if at all, benefit from the Innovation Act and the programs being done under the innovation agenda. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ganapin.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You have something more to say? That's it.
None, Madam
Sige.
Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Salamat. Thank you for your intervention. Yeah, thanks. Mr. Alvero, please. His hands were raised like an hour ago. I don't know if he's still here.
Dito po, ma'am. Dito po, Madam Chair. Hello.
Proceed, please.
So good afternoon po, Madam Chair, to the members of the committee staff and representatives of the government agencies. Siyempre, yung mga stakeholders din po nakasama namin. So ako po si Benjamin Alvero. I represent po Trade Justice Pilipinas and the Sentro ng mga nagkakaisa at progresibong manggagawa. No? So through Sentro, we represent the trade unions in the Philippines. And maganda po yung nasabi ni Mr. Montemayor no kanina. Now, when we're talking about RCEP po, we're talking about the long-term development of our entire economy. And dahil yun ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung paglago nating ekonomiya, no, labor is very much interested, no, at following the discussions and the impact of RCEP. No, in fact, napakaganda nga po na talagang mabantayan natin yung mga pangako na binigay sa atin ng mga nagtulak po ng concurrence with RCEP, in particular the projections. No? So napakahalaga ng assessments. And for labor, no, ang isang napakahalaga na talagang tingnan as a measure of the effectiveness of this free trade agreement is the generation of employment, of jobs. And for us, napaka-specific to. No? Hindi lang to simpleng paglikha ng trabaho. Kasi napakahalaga yung tanong na anong klaseng trabaho ba ito? During previous hearings, ang narinig po natin ay ang maraming magagawang trabaho pero mostly in the sector of services. Okay, but another question is, yung mga trabaho ba na malilikang ito, ano ang kanilang kalidad? Are these secure jobs? Are these permanent jobs? Are these well-paying jobs? Are they dignified jobs? No? And related to that, no, saan mga sektor ng ekonomiya, saan mga industriya tayo makakakita na napakalaking job generation or gains in employment, no? In fact, sa sariling study po ng sentro, no, with the help of the Labor Education and Research Network or Learn, nakita pa nga namin na, yung gross domestic output ng RCEP ng Pilipinas after joining RCEP, bababa pa nga yan marginally, no? 0.076% marginally, pero ang translation niyan ay may mga economic sectors ka na hindi pa nga makikinabang sa RCEP. In fact, ang nakita po namin ay may mga sector tayo na mawawalan ng trabaho, no, maliit lang, no, mga around 20,000, pero 20,000 pa rin yan. No, for example, in agriculture, sugar, wool, wheat, no, plant-based fibers, electrical equipment, wearing apparel, etc. At ang impact po niyan ay sa long-term development ng ating ekonomiya. Ano yung magiging itsura ng Philippine economy, anong klaseng industries ang pinaprioritize at anong klaseng trabaho ay makukuha ng mga tao. Ang isang concern po namin based po sa aming projections, yung mga negatively impact industries po kasi ito yung mga high value added economic areas. So yung mga medyo complicated yung economic activity. So ibang klaseng trabaho yung nalilika na by and large mas magandang remuneration at mas secure. So yun yung isa naming tanong, no? Anong klaseng trabaho? Dignified ba ito? Regular ba ito? At saan? No, and how will RCEP affect the Philippine government's own employment policy and our broader economic development plan? No? So, concretely, ang request po namin para talaga mabantayan natin ito ay lalong ma-institutionalize yung partisipasyon ng lahat ng mga stakeholder, particular po ng mga trade unions sa Oversight Committee at sa lahat ng mga proseso natin para bantayan nga at i-assess ang effectiveness ng RCEP. So that would be it for now, Madam Chair. Pero the trade unions are very much interested in seeing how RCEP will perform. And tulad nga po ng sinabi ninyo, handa rin po tayo dapat maningil, dapat singilin at puriin yung dapat puriin. Depende sa epekto sa ating ekonomiya at sa ating lipunan. Salamat po.
Salamat, Mr. Alvero. Gusto kong sagutin kaagad ng DOLE yung mga pinahayag mo. Could we ask ASEC Anover to answer what the concerns of Mr. Alvero?
Good afternoon,
What
Madam
kind of
Chair.
jobs will it generate? Kasi alam naman natin, yung mga sa sponsorship ko, may mga pinangako ako. And there was a study of Dr. Coro Raton, the employment effects, di ba? Sabi natin may 1.4 million additional jobs in 2031. Wala na ako dito. So hindi na niya ako masisingil. Pero gusto ko, ima-monitor pa rin natin to. Hindi, baka nandito pa tayo, di ba? What is it? We see. What is the active role of DOLE? Ayan, sagutin mo. Tinatanong niya, in pursuing the employment projections. And how do you address the unemployment rate? Ano ba ngayon? 2.37 million unemployed, 4.8%?
Yes,
Right?
that's correct, Madam
Oh,
Chair.
unemployed pa lang yan. Underemployment, mas malaki pa. Yun. So sisingilin ako ng mga yan. Ako nangako dito, di ba? Akong mukha ninyo at boses ninyo. So, maski na wala na ako sa Senado ng 2031, hindi. So, kailangan bumalik ako pala ng Senado para masingil
Yes,
niyo
ma'am.
ako. Baka 2031, nag-hearing pa rin tayo ng ganito. Wag naman. Oo.
Okay.
Okay, sagutin mo. Si
Yes,
Mr.
Madam Chair.
Alvero.
Okay. So at least very first, the department would like to communicate, no, its readiness. Although, of course, it was not a participant in the negotiations of this. In fact, there's no chapter there on labor, no, and employment. We still commend it as a piece of, I guess, the treaty or legislation. No, it is an affirmation of the commitment towards economic growth and social development. So ready po ang department dito tungkol sa hamon na yan. Based on the literature po, on all the projections, at least what we have reviewed, so sa 1.4 million na po yan, you're really looking at 990,000 or a million, no, in the services sector, and then notably about 300,000 in the manufacturing. So pagka ganun po yung nakikita nating klaseng distribution, you are looking in a shift from the low quality jobs towards the higher quality jobs. Yung which is one of the targets really po ng Department of Labor as well in terms of the Philippine Development Plan. So at present po, para lang po sa for the information of this committee, the Department of Labor po is drafting its National Labor and Employment Plan. So quickly, right after the ratification of this treaty, yung Department of Labor po nag-conduct na ng national, ng Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao na consultation with all the representative sectors of society to be able to meet the challenges domestically and of course in light of all these other trade opportunities. So part po ng nakita po natin doon, of course, is yung two main pillars natin where we've identified in the Philippine Development Plan. One is yung increasing employability po natin. So that is one of the key structures. And then the second one po is increasing accessibility. So yung sa increasing employability po, ang maganda po sana ang maging focus din dito at mabigyan ng suporta po sa legislatura ay yung increase in investment po in TVET. Kasi we always talk about, we have to move the quality of jobs. We have to, we have to improve the quality of life, better wages. Pero kung wala pong support po sa lehislatura ukol po siguro sa budget for training, no, and upskilling and reskilling tong manggagawa po natin, medyo po mahihirapan din tayo ng kaunti doon. So we look forward po, ma'am, for this one, ma'am, since there is going to be, we're looking now at a significant shift, no, from the world of work. We're now really approaching in the fourth industrial revolution. In fact, we're already na po natin, medyo po may kalumaan pa niyan. We have also been in discussion with the Philippine Construction Authority in the construction sector, and in fact they have been requesting po na matulungan din sila niyan. They have a magnificent facility, well, probably back in the late 80s, early 90s, pero hindi na po na-update yan. So like those things, no? So we really,
You're asking for hardware
that is one
and
of
software.
yes,
But,
yes.
this should be private sector led, right? For TESDA accredited centers, or you want, do we need more TESDA government owned centers, let's say for AI? Is it not for investment for the private sector? It's not for government to invest in it for all the hardware and the software and the building capacity? Or what you're suggesting is, because anything that government touches does not prosper, or nasisira, equipment, hindi magaling ang gobyerno magpasimuno ng mga proyektong ito, lalo na sa mga equipment, mali-maling binibili, nasasayang ang pondo.
Well, in response to that, Madam Senator, when we were in discussions with the PCA, they were quite emphatic with this. When they were provided the JICA-funded facility, it was the state-of-the-art equipment at the time. These are towers, cranes, and other training equipment, no, for the construction sector. And in fact, for Southeast Asia or Asia in general, if you were a graduate of that facility, you were automatically hired wherever you were. So it was of that quality at the time. And siguro there is also a direct correlation in the construction boom. But since it has
Suggestion. What is your recommendation?
part of the suggestion, of course, is yung increasing the investment in these types of facilities, supporting them for the key employment generators, which has been identified as well with DTI. Construction, of course, is one of them. Then the innovation centers, which at present it's being constructed, ma'am. And then what we are also trying to do is we are harmonizing now the Philippine skills framework with TESDA and the Department of Trade.
I want to give full support, but I'll just give you an example. PTRI. What was it that I helped fund many years ago?
RYPIC, ma'am.
What is it? For cotton, right? All those big machines.
RYPIC.
It's not a spinning facility. It's big. It was hindi weaving center. Basta multi-million. Tapos hindi naman magamit ng mga kumpanya, mga maliliit, MSME. Government makes it so difficult. And then, sa lahat, let's say, we fund BIFAR, community fish landing centers, and all the equipment needed. And then the fiberglass boats, after 1 or 2 years, sira na yung mga fiberglass boats, inferior ang pagkagawa. Tas yung CFL, tinatayo. Tapos, hindi naman nagagamit ng mga mangingisda kasi maling location. So, nakakainis bigyan. Anong pangalan nito? Si Innovation Center. The Regional Yarn Production and Innovation Center. Bago pa nyo alam lahat ng spelling ng innovation na yan, ginawa ko na yan. Tagal-tagal na eh. Tapos, umaangal sa akin yung mga nangangailangan ng facility ito, ang taas daw ng singil ng gobyerno sa kanila, dapat nga binababaan natin. Hindi lang yan. lahat ng popondohan natin pag hardware or software, palpak. O mali-mali ang mga binibili. Or may corruption. Or maling model. Palaging may angal. So you're telling me, let's have centers of excellence. I agree, yes, conceptually good. Where we will teach, test the facilities, innovation centers. We'll teach AI, yes. Kailan ako nag-special studies on AI? 2018. 2018, yes. As early as 2018, I did a special course among many subject matters on artificial intelligence. It was all new to me in IMIDE, International Management and Development in Lausanne, right? So 1 week class. Then I really wanted to even bring professors here. And so I had that vision. And it's good, you're telling us that. Give us a proposal. Sige, 1 center. I'll fund it. I'll make it my advocacy. But I'm just telling you my experience with government. Let's say, DTI, shared services facilities. Gustong-gusto ko yan. But what do you do on the ground? When you see, gumagana ba ito? Sira na po yung makina eh. O, tinambak po namin ng DTI, hindi naman kami tinuruan paano paandarin po. Ay, rusty na eh. Ay, kasi luma na po eh. Puro ganyan pag gobyerno. Ano ba? Kasi hindi nila pera. Kasi luma ang binili o sira. O for example, Patnongon, Antique. O, gusto ko may ginning and spinning facility galing India. Di ba? Di ba? Cotton processing center. Anong ahensya ng gobyerno? Philfida naman. So yun, so I'm going through, you know, alam ko eh, tagal ko na dito eh, hanggang grassroots, alam ko yan eh, hindi niyo ako maluloko talaga. Nagtayo ako, naglay ako ng pondo. Aba, kakatayo lang, 6 na buwan, sira na. Pasko, tumatawag ako sa baryo, sa barangay, tumatawag sila sa Philfida, syempre walang tao, tumatawag sa India, yung supplier. O di sira, mga sira, hindi full capacity. Oh. In 5 minutes, ilan ang example ko sa'yo? From BIFAR, to Philfida, to SSF, tapos magbibigay ng equipment sa isang far-flung barangay. Ayaw naman ng barangay. Yung pang SSF, ba't tinatambak sa klan? Hindi naman sila kinonsulta. Sayang. Tapos you're telling me to build centers of excellence for innovation, to teach artificial. It sounds good. But then when we implement it, ayun na naman. Tapos hindi. But give us, sige. Give us. You understand what I mean?
Yes,
Wala pa akong nakita na inalagaan talaga ng gobyerno, executive, na maayos.
So, Madam Chair, at least in response to that,
I don't want to be negative. I'm sounding like some of the stakeholders. Kaya naintindihan ko sila eh.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I sound like Attorney Insyong and Raul Montemayor. There's nothing wrong with sounding like you. Kasi ramdam ko yun. Kaya nga, kung humingi kayo, patunay nyo. Yan, next homework mo. Saan ang magandang, malaking pondong linagyan ng gobyerno na magandang exemplary ang pagka-maintain? Ayan, pati-pantay ng mga opisina. Ay, nako.
So,
But I'm not saying no.
Yes,
Give
ma'am.
your suggestion. Sorry ha, hindi mo kasalanan. Give your suggestion, give your proposal. Who knows? Put it in your NEP. Give me a copy. Who knows? You may fund it for 2024.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, as you understand also, the department, the TESDA was put back under the Department of Labor. So our engagements have been very much tight, no? In particular, also in strengthening the industry boards and the linkages. There has been a disconnect for some time. So those are the things that we're rehabilitating. So it's when government is able to link better with industry, it will be able to respond better through training regulations, in particular, which is what I mentioned earlier, yung sa PSF. So we have been coordinating as well with the Philippine Skills Framework. So the basic context of that,
new framework for
It-
this administration or
It was a 2020 framework that was, I think, funded by the Singaporean government. But the concept is that it is the demand-driven. Okay, so basically it is, yes, so it is industry that is saying what are the skills required for this one. However, after they are able to develop that framework, they're supposed to turn it over to the TESDA so that they can come up with the training regulations to meet those skills. However, there has been a disconnect there, which is what we're trying to. It has not yet been converted. As far as I am aware, none of the frameworks have been converted into corresponding training regulations. So it's just so much that this is the gap that we're filling up now. Okay, so this is one of the things that we are looking to fill up within maybe this semester or within the next quarter. But definitely it is a piece of priority action as this directly relates to skills building. Okay, one of the next strategies that we've also identified is increasing accessibility, of course. So part or really the core of this is a strong and dynamic labor market information system. So this is something that we are improving right now. At present, we have been invited by the ILO to do benchmarking in Bangkok. We are also in discussions with the ASEAN Secretariat. We are also benchmarking with them on how to utilize big data in terms of developing a more sensitive labor market information system, because this will still all point down to what skills are needed for skills forecasting, so that again government can be more sensitive in the building of these training regulations so that we can meet the demand. Now on the last item po, for the shared labor market governance, which is what I mentioned earlier, is really the tightening of linkages and collaboration among government and industry association. So that is really the objective, that government actually listens and responds to what the signals of the private sector and the atin pong mga manggagawa are sending to us. So yun po. Thank you.
Thank you for that, ASEC Anover, and give your proposal for artificial intelligence and other skills that must be acquired. We'll see what we can do to help. Thank you for your answers. We have Sinag, Mr. Kainglet.
Yes, good afternoon. Naririnig po ba ako, Madam Chair?
Proceed, please.
Yeah. We do share some of the optimism, but baka mas maraming pessimism. But anyway, the Chair has said kailangan talaga nating pag-usapan ito as an Oversight Committee. Number one siguro, Madam Chair, yung sinasabi nating benchmarkings, yung opposition ng agriculture sector sa RCEP ay sa tatlong indicators. Number one, yung widening trade deficit, it's at $8 billion the past year, no? Or 9 billion na ata this year. Pangalawa, yung bumagsak na percentage share ng employment sa agriculture. And number three, yung percentage share ng agriculture sa GDP. So if we are putting numbers and benchmarks, paano ba natin po ito pwedeng gawin? Do we give a timeline ng 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Kasi ang pangako nila similar sa mga nangako sa WTO, all rosy prediction. So ang tanong ko po, the body can discuss, pag sinabi ba nating gumanda ang trade deficit, dapat ba positive na siya in how many years? Number two, in terms of yung share ng agriculture sa GDP from 25-30% naging 9%. Ano ang benchmark natin? Dapat ba umakyat siya sa 20%? And number three, yung employment sa agriculture, they promised us dati 500,000 jobs annually. So what would be our benchmarks? Kung dun sa trade deficit, pag nag-zero na ba yan, good indicator na? Or pag naglagay tayo ng benchmarks, Madam Chair, pag hindi ba siya naabot, would the Oversight Committee propose to umalis tayo sa RCEP because sabi nga natin, yung mga pangako, hindi naman siya nagawa. So, tatlo po yun, no? Trade deficit, percentage share ng agriculture sa GDP, and pangatlo, percentage share niya sa total employment. Ito yung mga siguro medium term to long term. Sa short term po, we really want to have a fresh start sa DA at DTI, ano? To build confidence. Sabi nga natin, bugbog ang agriculture, but nevertheless, even na meron tayong mga conditionalities na sinaset, pwede po ba sa short term ay as a good start, as a fresh start, as confidence building measure, kaya po ba ng DA na ipa-revoke sa Presidente ang Executive Order number 10 or EO number 10 that lowered the tariff sa rice, corn, and pork? Kasi sabi nila, may review dapat dyan, no? April na ngayon, hindi bumaba ang presyo ng baboy, hindi bumaba presyo ng bigas, hindi bumaba presyo ng mais. These are the conditions kaya inapprove yung EO number 10 ng Presidente to tame inflation daw, to tame prices ng baboy, bigas, including corn, ano? So for confidence building measure, would the DA siguro ang proposal ng body, if they agree, let's tell the President, nagkamali po kami, can we revoke the EO? Very similar, ito na nangyari last week. NFA proposed na mag-import ng bigas. Hindi pala pwede mag-import ng NFA under the rice tarification law. Ibig sabihin, pag nagkakamali, pwede naman nating i-atras. Pasensya na po, nagkamali kami. The same way that they did dito sa rice importation, umatras ang DA at NFA after we told them na illegal na mag-import ng DA kasi under the RTL, they cannot import rice. At okay naman yun, umatras sila and we welcome that. Pag nagkakamali, okay lang na umatras kasi mali talaga eh. Even the senators have spoken. They cannot anymore import rice but they can only increase their buffer through palay procurement. So pwede po ba sa confidence building measure, can we ask the DA? Dahil sila ang nagtulak nito eh. Unprecedented po yung EO natin, Madam Chair. Ang nagtulak ng EO to lower tariff, hindi NEDA, hindi DTI, kundi DA mismo. So baka
we'll see if DA is still online. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yusek, Mercy Sambilio, are you still online? Because she spoke already. Baka wala na.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Nandyan
po.
Yeah, Madam
Can you answer the points? First, the 3 EOs. Second, the correction on the importation of rice and the other matters.
Okay, let me respond first to the importation of rice, Madam Chair. It's very clear naman po talaga na NFA cannot really import rice because of the RTL. So medyo nagulat din po kami na may lumabas na ganon na news. So I really tried to correct it, you know. Ang sinabi ko doon sa mga reporters yesterday is that there is no more government to government because importation of rice because of the RTL. But you know, government importation can only happen if there is extreme emergency. Pero wala naman po sinasabi nila na looming crisis ng rice kasi if you look at our projections ng rice po, medyo maganda-ganda po yung projection nila as compared to the previous year. So kinorek po namin yon ng NFA sa NFA that NFA cannot really import rice because of the RTL. You know, and the very reason kung bakit natin medyo nireliberize yung rice trade is for the traders, for the imports to come in to balance yung pangailangan natin. So,
clarify,
balancing mechanism
was it an incorrect report, Yusek, or was it an incorrect NFA regulation? Was it an incorrect NFA proposed move, action, or was it an inaccurate reporting on the importation of rice?
Hindi ko po alam kung saan pula galing yung ano eh. They are saying na NFA daw has been was the one that informed about that importation, no? When in fact,
Yusek Malacanang released the story. It came from PCO. So
yeah,
it's official.
Malacanang nga daw, pero hindi ko po alam kung ano talaga yung ano. That's why I have to correct it.
But did you, Yusek, nakausap po niyo ang NFA? Did they really plan to
ma'am,
import?
yes.
No, hindi naman
Yes,
daw.
we did. We did during our
You
public
did. Ang sabi
budget
nila,
hearing.
did they plan to import even realizing that they're not allowed under the new law, the RTL?
They were
What did they say?
they informed us na yes, they are planning. Sabi ko sa kanila doon sa budget hearing namin po na NFA cannot import because of RTL. So medyo na ano rin kami na lumabas pa rin yung report na yon. That's why I have to correct it immediately.
Very good that you're there. So, para maliwanag po, hindi po to inaccurate reporting lang. Talaga pong akala ng NFA ay pwede pa sila mag-import ng rice. Oo. Hindi pa nila nababasa yung RTL. Buti kinorek nyo. Okay, good. Sige, the other issues.
And the other issue
Executive
with regards
orders.
to EO10, Madam Chair, what we are just providing, actually hindi po DA ang nagsulong talaga nitong EO. Of course, we provided the economic managers the real situation in terms of supply and demand. So talagang kulang na kulang po tayo, and that is what we think is the one that's causing the inflation.
Sinabi na nga ng Presidente, ample stock, Yusek. Kakasabi lang niya last week. Kaya nga hindi
Ano
dapat
po?
mag-import ang NFA. The President just mentioned, ample ang stocks ng rice. So, sasabihin mo ngayon, lacking. Di ba? I mean,
anong
yun
lacking?
lang po eh. May mali tayong information.
Ano pong lacking?
Lacking. Sabi nyo kulang sa bigas. Ang Presidente na mismo nagsabi po.
Hindi na. We are not talking about the bigas anymore. We are talking already about the second issue.
Oo,
we're
tapos
talking
na po
about-
yung bigas, yung sa NFA. Tapos na po yun, Mr.
No,
Kailet.
EO10 is about rice and pork po, Madam Chair. EO10 is about lowering the tariffs ng pork and rice. So, kasama po talaga yung rice dito sa EO10.
So you were asking about the possible revocation of an executive order, right? Oo, yun po ang
Opo.
sagutin nyo.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you.
Yun ang hinihingi natin na sagot kay Yusek. Lowering, revocation of an EO, right? Lowering the tariffs on which commodities?
Rice, pork, and corn po.
Okay,
Rice, pork, and
Yusek.
corn yung sinasabi
Baboy.
niya, Madam
Mais.
Chair.
Go ahead po. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me tackle one by one yung ano. Dun sa rice po, that is only kasi dalawa po yung tariff rates natin for rice. One is the Atiga, which is the 35, and the one is out of Atiga, which is 40, 45. Basta it's a little bit higher po. So what we did, what that EO says is that all rice coming in, whether it comes from the ASEAN or from other countries, will just be, charged at a 35% tariff rate. Kasi the reason for that is we wanted to spread the source of our rice because of this, yung mga fertilizer, the crisis that has already, affected also the global supply chain. So that was the very reason kung bakit yung tariff rates na 40-45% out of ASEAN, ginawa natin na uniform ng 35. So yun po yun sa rice aspect. Dito naman po sa pork and corn, the reason for why, sa corn muna, because of the talagang import dependent po tayo sa corn for our livestock. And if we're going to import at that high rate, masyado pong mataas ang ating input cost for corn. That's why we need to give that incentives para mas ano po yung feeds that would be coming in for the livestock industry, no? So yun po yung sa corn aspect. And dun sa supply and demand natin na sinabmit namin to the economic managers and to the president, talagang napakataas po, napakalaki po ang pangangailangan natin ng corn. And the pork naman po, kay ganun din po because of this looming ASF, kulang na kulang po tayo. So we really need also to encourage traders to get in pork at maibibigay sa mababang presyo. Okay? Totoo yung sinasabi nila po na hindi halos gumalaw. Pero kung titignan po ninyo if you compare the prices before the EOs and after the EOs, meron po naman siyang paggalaw. Bumaba po naman at naging mas stable. Yun nga lang po, we really have to, actually monitor the implementation of all these EOs. Yun lang po, Madam Chair. And
Actually,
I
naman
hope
natin
the NEDA and DOF will also provide some, additional information if I did not, complete the picture. Salamat po.
Yeah, Madam Chair. Sige, kung sa akin it's an indication if the DA is still insisting that the EO is working for the agricultural sector. That's the position of DA. Yung last point na lang, Madam, yung ating long-term indicators, balance of trade, percentage to GDP, and percentage sa employment, ano ang magiging benchmark natin? Pag hindi ba yan na-achieve, can we withdraw sa RCEP? Kasi ang pangako nila, gaganda ang agriculture eh. But kung ang indicators mo, negative pa rin.
Yes, we still have, Mr. Kainglet, we still have to find out. That's why there is an oversight committee. Magsisimula pa lang po sa June 2 ito, and the tariffs will be eliminated for many, many years to come. So definitely there must be monitoring for employment, there must be monitoring for all sectors, and there will be benchmarking. No one can answer that question now, and bridging the trade deficit, so broad, it's been there since, since late 60s.
Yeah.
Late 60s, you're asking us to answer how do we bridge the trade deficit or have the balance of trade in our favor for certain sectors or commodities when it's been creeping, increasing the deficit since the 60s, 40, 50 years po. But we are aware of that, and we want, but we need to find out how we can close the gap. Clearly understood.
Yeah, kasi po ma'am, we need to put numbers. Kasi otherwise, puro
Understood.
sila projection,
In
puro
fact,
sila...
We agree with your question and your intention. If you could recommend to the committee what is the best way to benchmark and to measure this, we would be grateful. So may we request our stakeholders, NGOs, representatives, SINAG, Attorney Dana, kunan rin nyo, no? Yung mga nagsasuggest, nagtatanong, siyempre nagtatanong sila, meron silang gustong gawin. If they were in government, how would they do it?
Yeah.
Diba?
Yes.
We want. Yes. We want to
Sige
learn
po.
from you.
Sige po.
You give us your own roadmap. Baka kayo ang makakatuklas ng mga solusyon sa dekadekadang problemang ito.
Siguro pa last point na lang, yun nga, no, yung pinresent kasi ni Alan tsaka ni Isaac Mercy. These are all government programs na gagawin naman nila regardless kung may RCEP o wala. So, I mean, kailangan lang kong maklarify yon kasi nga, they're presenting everything, pero nasa program na nila yan eh, kahit walang RCEP. Yun lamang po, just to
Thank you
set
very
the record
much.
straight.
Thank you, Yusek Sambilio, for being with us the whole time. Thank you, Mr. Kainglet. Thank you to everyone. We have to adjourn it, so 1:35. Yes, we've been here since 10 o'clock. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno na dumalo sa ating pagpulong ngayon. We will adjourn today's hearing, and we just kindly remind all the agencies. I already mentioned the information we need to submit as well, the position papers, in case you were not able to speak. We did not hear the Bureau of Customs. Please submit a report on anti-smuggling initiatives and border control. Uulitin at summarize lahat ng aking mungkahi kanina, but we will adjourn today's hearing. We will schedule another hearing. We will also have the innovation agenda of the DTI. We will have the Philippine Council and the various committees under it. and we request Senate representation, even as observer in some of the relevant councils or in the executive department. So thank you very much. ASEC Ctte, you are answerable, accountable for closing the trade deficits per sector, for increasing the employment according to Dr. Kororatan and you. Okay? Sagot mo sa akin yan. Okay, hindi. Okay? Tapos yung mga suggestions din ng ahensya ng gobyerno, sana ganito, sana yan, sana may AI center. O sige, bigay nyo sa amin. Yeah. Thank you. I think this is as I told you, and I want to see everybody. I don't want to see my face there. Can I see everybody who's present up to 1:30? Can you do that? Bakit ba mukha ko nakita ko? Can we see everyone who's still present? Open your screens, please. Let's have a photograph of who are still virtually present. Yes. Not able to call everyone because this is freewheeling, and you can actually speak out now before we adjourn. But if not, I am grateful for your virtual presence, especially those who are physically present, and submit any suggestions. If it's not an opening statement, whatever interventions that you failed to say. Remember, we just want to improve the economy. We want to close trade deficits. We want to establish more sustainable employment. We want to create more investments. We want to cushion the impact, if any, if ever, on the entry of foreign goods. We want to expand exports of our commodities, of our products, of services. We want to gain more in terms of employment. Okay, have I covered much? I think we gained. Thank you, everyone. Meron kayong yung presensya ng lahat, no? Meron kayo maski yung virtual, right? Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Trying to look at all the names. Okay. Is there huling hirit? Does someone want to speak? Okay na. There's no raised hand. Meron. Ipofil. Mr. Arevalo. Okay. Before we adjourn.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, for accommodating my request. Ano lang po, compelling lang kasi this would require the help from the ng Senado, lalo na po ng committee niyo. Because one of the obligation natin sa RCEP is magpasa ng batas amending the IP code to accommodate po yung protection sa non-traditional trademarks, including po sound marks. So yun lang po, Madam Chair, gusto lang naming i-express ngayon due to the importance ng obligasyon na yun. Thank you po.
It's the amendment of the IP code, ma'am. In the RCEP agreement, we have a commitment to protect non-traditional trademark. So that would include sound mark. So in our present law, ma'am, we only protect visual mark.
When is the bill?
There's already a pending bill in Congress, ma'am. So
Can I add to the information, Madam Chair? We already preparing for this bill for even before the ratification, the concurrence of the Senate to the RCEP. No? Currently, pending po sa House of Representatives yung two bills, among other bills.
Okay. Give me a copy of the measure. Kindly, ASEC Ctte, give us a copy of the measure. I'll file it tomorrow. Okay? Review nyo muna. If it's pending in the House, let's see if it's pending in the Senate. We're checking if there is something in the Trade Committee. If not, I will file it. Please send it to us. That's part of my job as our RCEP sponsor, huh? Yeah. So, ang trabaho ko po, dinggin kayong lahat. Ang trabaho ko rin, imungkahi yung pagpalawak ng mga funding, support, resources sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno, sa kanilang mga programa para maprotektahan ang mga sektor na maaring maapektuhan sa pagdagsa ng mga goods, pero para din bigyan sila ng suporta para sa mas malaking merkado. Pero trabaho ko rin para amendahan ang mga batas na kailangan amendahan ayon na rin sa ating RCEP. So ibigay po nyo yung panukulang batas at i-review po natin, ifa-file po natin. Ngayon, tutulungan nyo ako sa chairman ng komite kung saan po mahulog yan, kung trade committee, para dinggin, para mapasa. Okay? So that's the way. So we do this hearing at least once a month, right? It's once a month hearing. Okay, thank you. One photo with, photo. Yan. May, sinong photographer doon? Wala. O, takbo, sino may camera dyan? Kasama ang virtual, kasama yung tatlong naiwan dito. Wala ba tayong photographer? Maski sino naman, may camera naman kayo, dear. O, yan, kayo na. Ano ba kayo? Yan. O, doon sa kabila. O, yan. Isama mo yung nasa wall. O, mga nag-participate. Okay. What's sa likod? No. You're there. Okay, I'm the director. You go there, Shere. Yan. Para kita sila, kita ko, kita yun sa wall. Okay, go. Okay, ilang pages ba yung virtual? Huh? How many? Okay. The second screen, okay. Third screen. O, ayaw na magbukas. Okay. How many screens? It's okay? Tapos na? Oy, Senator Villar is here. Kita ko. Thank you so much sa pagtsatsaga nyo. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs. We appreciate everything. Whether NGO, stakeholder, or USEC, Sumbilya. Permanent fixture kayo dyan, ha? Kayo ni ASEC Ctte at si ASEC Anover at si Ernie at si USEC Mercy kasi galing NEDA,
Madam
naintindihan niya
Chair.
ekonomiya. Okay. Sige.
Thank
Okay.
you, Madam Chair.
Salamat sa inyong lahat.
Madam Chairperson, have a nice day po.
Thank you po.